go ahead and swap over here. Oh, that's that. Alright. Welcome back, everybody. Let's see. What did you guys get up to exactly last session?
Druids. Fucking druids.
There was a long period of time where you spent hours on end just tending to a garden, and nobody in your group knew how. And the only help in town that you had seemed to be either for pay, which definitely wasn't going to do, or was going to be quite useless themselves. So spent a lot of time working on that temple and eventually managed to speak with the druids and come to an agreement, though things complicated shortly after. The deal was deemed to be less than favorable by Dudairn, and the terms and conditions were not exactly what he was hoping for. And so, in a not a fit of rage, but a little bit butthurt, he sauntered off to Jack's tent and told him that he was planning to backstab the druids, and had a conversation with Jack about that, and then set off to go and make his way into the Plane of Fire. The rest of you three have been finishing your business over there. You've managed to fix up the temple, and unless you're doing something else, you're all over at the camp.
I just remembered what happened last week now.
Yeah, it's rough.
Rough. That's one way to put it, for sure.
So, rejoining everything now. It is... Oh, you met with the druids, you did that. It's probably about mid to late afternoon in the day, and the three of you are around camp, and Dudairn had mentioned that he was going off to go and do something. What are you guys going to do?
Sit around going,
I don't even know.
Well, we spent so much time on the garden, perhaps I'll patrol and see if there's any sign of potential assassins.
You go do that, Vorak.
And I'll stand up, throw my axe over my shoulder, and start making the rounds around the town.
Okay. So you go ahead and do the rounds. Meneltirn and Ivan, are you guys going to kick your feet about at camp?
I think so. I'll probably wait until evening. It's been a while since I checked out the prophecy, so I'll probably plan to do that later.
Ah, okay. Meanwhile, Dudairn, you are off towards, let's say, the point between Jack's tent and the entrance into the cave there. And as you get over towards the entrance, you see the two guards who part to allow you access into the cave below. What are you gonna do?
I squeeze my way through.
Okay. It's a little difficult at first, but sooner or later you're traveling down the long steps headed for the portal, which has been this town's secret boon for some time. As you eventually make it to the bottom steps, you see what look like a group of two wizards who are seated at a table, and all around them you can see a bunch of magical apparatus and a few bedrolls and different camp supplies, that sort of thing. And the portal lies exactly where you had left it. However, it's not exactly the same. There is a collection of crystals that are being held around it by tall metal poles, and the whole thing, including the portal, kind of like pulsates every now and then with light. What do you want to do?
The wizards. You there? Who are you, and what are you doing with the portal?
As you call out, you see they turn over and look at you, and one of them stands up. He pulls back his hood and shows you his face, which I've described to a few other members here. He takes a step towards you and offers to shake your hand. Says, "My name's Mavrin. I'm one of the wizards that tend to the portal here. This is my assistant, Westry."
I'll shake his hand.
"And you must be..."
I'm Dudair. I assume Jack hired you?
He did, yes, a while back.
Well, I'm sorry to have not met you before now.
That's okay. It's more or less what you'd expect, living in hiding.
Now, can you make the portal... Is the portal not large enough for me to step through?
Right now, no. It seems to be constrained to some degree and is considerably smaller than you remember it way back when you first chanced upon it.
Can you make the portal larger?
I could. Why do you ask, Dudairn?
I have business on the other side.
He pauses for a moment and looks at his assistant, who in turn looks at him, the two of them sharing a look of concern. And eventually he turns back and he says, I can certainly open the portal for you. Are you certain that you wish to travel there?
I'm sure. It is one of my last few options.
Okay, well, I will open the portal for you. There is a complication. If you travel to the other side, well, the magic that we use to keep other creatures from escaping into our world will also keep you from coming back. Are we to just keep it open until you return?
No, that would be too dangerous. I don't...
So how do you intend to return? Is this permanent business?
I hope not.
You see that concern flashes again over Mavrin's face. He puzzles for a second, bringing up his hand. He kind of scratches his chin, raises an eyebrow, stares over at the portal. He looks back to you and says, well, if it's your command, I do work for you after all. If you're going in, you're going in. I'll keep the portal open if you want it to be open, or I will close it behind you if that's what you wish.
Can you open it again in 1 week's time?
From right now?
Well, yes.
I could do that.
Make sure I don't have anything important on me before I commit.
Start emptying your gold onto the ground.
I just feel real bad that when we time jump after this day, it's gonna be like 2 weeks in advance. They're gonna be like, well, guess you never came back.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming I live that long. Yeah, no, I have nothing important.
You see Mavrin steps over towards the portal, and he goes ahead and starts to shift one of these poles that has the crystal atop it, and moves it further away from the portal. And you see that as he does, the portal itself begins to kind of grow to some degree. And as he moves over another one of these pedestals, it starts to grow more. And he continues to move all of them until there's a wide berth around the portal, and it grows back to the size that you remember. And he finishes moving this last one, and then looks over towards you expectantly.
As I go to step through it, I turn to him. One last thing. If an army of undead should show up, just close the portal. No need to make both of those things happen at the same time.
I see. Well, we can get to work on trying to figure out a way to do that. Are you sure you want to do this?
Yes, I'm sure. Going to try and put an end to winter.
Okay. You see, Mavrin steps back, and his assistant is intently watching you from underneath her hood here as you step towards the portal. Are you going through?
I draw my axe and step through.
Okay. There's a brief moment where everything that you can see in front of you changes to red, and then afterwards, the same scene presents itself. You're once again surrounded by the ruins of Valu and the city that it once was. The sky is red with horrible black clouds that move about, and you occasionally hear howling winds that carry with them a dry heat, and off in the distance, thunder roils. What do you want to do? Behind you lies the portal.
Well, obviously I can't see if there's towns. From what I remember, and I'll make a history if you need me to, was there anything like on the horizon?
As you look around right now from your spot here in the ruins, it's difficult to see what lies in any direction. You'll have to find a vantage point and start to wander around.
I can't see beyond 60 feet, that's why I asked
I see.
if I remembered from what someone said.
So as you look around from here, you won't be able to see what there is, and the others who are with you here weren't able to see far either.
I will just head in the direction that it seemed that the genie was not facing. So,
The direction the genie was not facing?
yeah. I don't know. Just forward.
You're just gonna start walking. Okay. Blind and alone, you begin to wander through the plane of fire, and since nobody else is really doing anything right now, if you guys do think of something, pipe up, but otherwise it's going to be a one-man show for a period here.
That sounds good to me.
Unless Vorok finds his dwarf assassins. Off, as you begin to wander, go ahead and, let's see, we're doing a completely random direction, so let's roll luck for you. Well, that's pretty good. That's a 17. Looking at your surroundings, you wander off, picking a direction, and soon find yourself headed downhill. You can see all about you, within your 60 feet at the very least, the ruins of the town. Blackened stone and collapsed buildings. But there's something else. As you wander down the hill, you find that the buildings become more dense and there's more rubble laying around, but you're not alone, and floating motes of fire seem to be drifting throughout the town, slowly moving through one street and then going into another, or resting in a building for a time and then going elsewhere.
Like small elementals, or like spirit orbs?
They're probably about the size of maybe like a large melon, that kind of thing. And they float around roughly at waist height.
So, I mean, given like my vision, these aren't like illusions of any kind.
Mm-mm. As you look at them, you don't see any sort of like magic concealing their form or anything like that.
I'll take some time and like explore the town.
Okay.
See if I can make my way back to where the castle stood.
Alright. Wandering about, the different creatures seem to occasionally come close to you, but never to the point of touching you. And even when they're just in proximity of your own vision, you can feel like quite an intense heat that comes from them, even worse than all of the heat that lies around in the area. Eventually, you manage to find the castle and start on the long trek up the stairs to get to the top. And when you finally get up there, you notice that everything is decimated. The whole castle lies in ruins. There's nothing but incredibly large stones that basically fill that whole area.
I'll try as I can to make it to where the throne room is.
Well, the throne room was in a second-story portion of the tower that no longer exists, but you can wander into the rubble of the castle here if you'd like.
There's no, like, it's just rubble. There's not.
You can see the rough outline of its walls that start to that you can catch just going all the way around the perimeter, but everything else on the inside is just destroyed.
There's no, like, nothing that would have been like bodies and stuff from the assault we had on it.
Looking around for evidence of corpses or anything like that, go ahead and make a perception roll for me.
Just want to get an idea of like exactly how much got teleported. Fuck.
Looking around, you don't see anything. There's no dead bodies that you can can notice here in between the rocks and the rubble. And as you kind of like nudge a stone over, looking to see if there's anything underneath, you find nothing.
If I don't find anything, I'll just make my way out of town.
Okay. As you begin to leave town, you eventually find yourself wandering in complete nothingness. The only way for you to find your way back is to turn around and retrace your steps perfectly, or maybe follow your own tracks as you just wander into a desolate wasteland of nothing but what is basically charred ground. It's black with occasional pockets of like a red sand or a red dirt. You just gonna keep walking that for a while?
Yeah.
Okay.
Walk until I find something interesting.
Okay. Let's see. You wander for about 3 hours before finding anything. And when you finally get to it, you see that it's just the ground starting to fall underneath what looks like a large pool of lava that extends out past your vision.
Keep a good bit of distance from the pool's edge and my way around it.
Okay, so you're just gonna trace around it?
Yeah. If I can, I want to make like marks in the ground at just points to give me like if I end up walking around the entire thing, then I know if I go back to a point, I'll have a direction to go.
Okay. So as you begin to wander, you bump into something, or rather you hear something off in the distance. It sounds like a clanging noise. And you hear the sound of metal on metal from way off into the distance beyond the field of view that you have.
Is it like the rhythmic strikes of like a smith, or like haphazardly?
It sounds very much like the rhythm strikes of a smith.
I'm gonna walk towards it.
Okay. As you wander towards it, something comes into view. You see two people that start to wander towards you, stepping into your field of view. However, they're not normal humans. Instead, they look like creatures that would be very, very at home here in this horrible plane. I'll describe them to you in 2 seconds. There we go. The creatures that step towards you are of relatively small stature and look as though they were roughly on par with a dwarf when it comes to height, and also how stout they are. Their bodies seem to be completely made of metal, maybe a brass or a bronze, and their faces are wreathed in flame. You can see the two that approach you have with them what looks to be a set of guards equipment. You can see that they have swords at the ready on their side and war hammers in their hands, and the two of them approach you with what looks like an inquisitive look.
So they look like fire dwarves.
Kind of, yeah. Fire dwarves that are completely made out of metal. They step towards you, and they seem to not be bothered at all by the heat of the area or the lava nearby.
I try speaking in Dwarvish. Hello, can you understand me?
The two look at one another and then stare at you. And then one of them says something and you have no idea what he says. It's in a completely foreign language. One that you've never heard before.
I guess I'll just switch back to common if they don't understand Dwarvish. It's like, can you take me to the Red Queen?
Try to speak again, but it doesn't take you anywhere. The creatures step towards you. There's a great deal of heat. One of them has his hand at the ready, placed on his weapon. The other one just kind of looks you up and down and goes to say something again, but you have no idea what he's saying. He looks like he's frustrated.
With trying to seem as non-confrontational as I can. I just point to my mouth and shake my head, mouth something I can't understand.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Fucking use that guy. Fuck that guy. Oh my god! Monday group, here I come.
The creatures stare at you for a moment, and then one of them says something and stares at you expectantly. And when you don't understand, he just waves his hand towards you in a very dismissive manner, says something to the other one. The two of them nod, and they point in the direction from which you came. And you see him doing a gesture waving his hand, get out of here.
I will take out some coin.
What do you have for coin?
I've got some copper, some silver, some gold. I'll take out 5 gold and offer it to them. From what I know of dwarves, they like money.
Interesting. Let's see how that turns out. Okay. The other one just kind of scoffs, while the other kind of takes a step forward and stares down for a brief moment. He kind of calls back towards the second one, and the two approach you once again as you have your hand outstretched here with 5 gold pieces on it. The two of them stand there waiting.
I like kneel down and like kind of like draw like a couple like rudimentary houses in the ground.
Okay. The two of them watch and like go ahead and just stare at whatever the hell it is that you're doing. You have their attention at the very least.
And like after I'm done, I'll point to them, point to the house, and then to me, and then point to the money to them.
Okay. Let's see if they get your message here. It's a nat 1 and a natural 20. The two of them seem confused at first when you try to show this to them, and then one of them holds out his hand and then kind of motions for you to give him the coin.
I will do so.
Okay. There's a metallic clink as all the coins land into his metal palm, and he pockets them and stuffs them away. Afterwards, he beckons you to follow, and the two of them begin to wander off towards the sound of the clanging.
I will follow relatively close behind them.
Okay. As you travel behind the two, you hear the sound begins to become more intense. The banging is a little bit louder, but also there's other sounds. You hear other forges that begin to kind of come into the range where you can pick up on them. And before you know it, you're standing in front of a large, what looks like a large cavern opening with a gate that's been socketed into it. And you can hear that from holes in, or sorry, not from holes, but from like up above, like above this gate, that's roughly where you're hearing all the sound of this clanging. Now here at the gates, the two turn kind of expectantly towards you. You can see that there's more of these creatures nearby. Another one kind of steps into your field of view and stares at you and then eventually wanders off. What do you want to do?
I will like point to myself and then like to the gate and like kind of like do like a quizzical gesture. This language barrier is hurting.
The two stare at one another and kind of have a bit of a conversation here. And you can see that they're debating, not furiously, but in great depth until eventually turning back towards you. And one of them makes like this open hand gesture, like before when you had handed him the coin. And the other one does the same.
Okay, they will. I'll give each of them 4.
Roll a persuasion check. Oh my god. What the fuck?
Fuck that die.
Okay.
Of course.
You hand over the gold, and then they stare down at their hands, and you see what look like visions of anger and confusion come over their faces. They exchange more words with one another, and one of them kind of like pushes his hand towards you, waiting for you to put more in it.
I don't have much more, so I'll just give him the bag.
The bag? What do you have in the bag?
4 gold, 4 silver, and 2 copper.
Okay. You place the bag in his hand. The other one looks over, annoyed, and the one that you've handed the bag to, he kind of opens it up and stares inside to see the coin there. He pours it out into his palm and looks at it, and then he looks back towards you and does the same gesture.
I'll just like pull out my pockets to show there's nothing in them.
One of them steps forward. What are you wearing?
What
What do you have on you for items?
I am wearing chainmail. I have my axe, which when I ran to them, I probably would have like sheathed it. I have like those bucklers on my arm, a backpack, some food. The winter clothes are probably in the backpack.
Okay.
I have the lockbox with no money in it, and some Chimera bits.
So they step towards you, and the one that doesn't have the bag in his hand tugs on your chainmail. He pulls on it.
I was like wave my hands no, and then with both of them point, like kind of do my best to gesture that I need this chainmail. Like I need it.
Okay. You see that the two of them seem to look at one another again, and they talk, and after an awkward pause, one of them just kind of like puts your money back in your bag there, and the other one does too. He hands his coins to the one with the bag, and he puts the coin in there, and then he just throws the bag back to you, and the two of them walk towards the gate.
Can I insight that?
Sure. Roll for language barrier.
That's better. That's an 18.
18, okay. You think that you know what it is that happened. It appears that without offering your armor and just giving up the coins that you had, they considered it not to be enough to let you into whatever it is that's beyond that gate, and so have thrown back the stuff to you and turned and left.
Oh, that was nice of them. Except for like the original 5 gold, I assume.
Yes, that is gone.
Okay, well, once I need some.
You can see that they're making their way over towards the other guards that seem to be standing outside of the gate there with their weapons, and they talk for a second, and that's about it. And you're left standing there alone.
Chances are that none of the people in there are gonna know how to speak either of my languages. Wait, I have an idea. I will run up to the group.
Okay.
Do I know the symbol of the Red Queen? Having previously destroyed one.
You might be able to recall. You can make a rough intelligence check.
Rough is right. Yeah, that's a 2.
Jesus fucking Christ. You probably don't remember exactly what it looks like.
Then I will not rush up to them. I'll just sulk and head left.
Just go in the opposite direction across the lava? Like retrace your steps, or go to the left of the gate?
Left of the gate.
Okay, so you begin
or
to
right.
wander off in that direction, and you know... What's that?
Whichever feels like it doesn't lead back to the portal.
Okay. You note that while you're wandering there, that you're starting to get tired. Like it's been a long day, and that your journey has taken quite a while. Wandering in all of this heat, just completely by yourself, one step after another, is starting to get to you.
I assume there's something like 5 suns.
It certainly feels like it.
If I'm gonna keep going. If I can't find a rocky outcropping and 20 minutes, I'll just my butt on the ground.
Okay. So, you go ahead and go to find somewhere where you can maybe get some shelter, and sure enough, along this mountainside, you do manage to come across a couple of rocks that give some rough shade that you can sit behind. And are you just going to camp there, go to bed?
I've been walking for what, a few hours,
Mm-hmm.
so it's been like that put me in like what, early afternoon.
No, it was late afternoon when you started.
Oh, then yeah, I will.
Okay.
I will try to hide myself as best I can among the rocks.
So back to the rest. With you three there, Vorak, you've been wandering for some time. It appears that there are no assassins out today, and in fact, the blizzard that blows about you seems to be lessening a little bit to some degree. You can see a bit farther than normal.
Alright. Let me just head back to the camp after I've sufficiently made rounds and not seen anything. I'll make a pass by those new people, the caravan, and just see what I can't remember his name, the one dwarf.
Scraps.
Scraps, right. I won't bug him, I'll just walk by and see if he's still there.
Okay. As you wander by, you note that Scraps is missing. And most of the people in the camp are familiar faces, but he's not among them.
I'll make a troubling note of this and head back to the main camp.
Okay. You make your way back towards the camp, and there you find Meneltirn and his friend Ivan both seated here at the campfire, doing little of anything.
Greetings, companions. What's the word for today? I've made no assassin sightings, although that dwarf Scraps has gone missing.
What do you mean missing?
Well, I made a pass by the caravan that came in, and he was nowhere to be found.
He could have been in a tent.
I don't think so.
Why?
Well, when you think someone might be an assassin, you keep an especially close eye out for them.
I'm sure he's up to something nefarious, like plotting how he's going to kill you. So
Yes,
he's probably-
perhaps.
He's busy right now. We'll leave him be.
Well, do keep an eye out for him.
Oh, I will, Vorak. You got my word on that.
Okay.
Is it?
No,
Is it?
no.
What time of day is it? I'm sorry.
Ah. Now that you guys have been seated here for quite some time, it is probably right in the middle of the evening.
Okay, it's in the middle of the evening.
Yeah.
Stars out and whatnot.
Sorry, I probably should have said around dinner time.
Okay, I got you.
Not quite evening there, but yeah, it's getting late.
Okay.
If you wait a few more hours, then you might be able to get your prophecies readings.
Meneltirn's just gonna, putz around for a little bit then.
Okay. You were saying something there, Ivan?
Yeah. Vorak, no signs of those undead you'd spoken of?
No, I hadn't seen anything. No undead, no druids, no dwarves. Quite quiet, actually. The weather seems to be calming down a little bit.
Huh. That's good.
Yes, I'm sure the people of the town could use a break. Hopefully it continues this way. I guess I'll probably just have some dinner at this point.
Okay. So, you three go ahead and grab something to eat. After that, you're gonna go out and check your prophecy, are you not?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Go
Warwick
ahead.
would like to join you.
Ah! Does Brock go with?
Yeah, he'll just tag along.
It's a very simple prophecy tonight. Dude Aaron is about to fucking die.
It's gonna say like, oh, by the way, dude, Darren is dead. What are we doing? Straight in for that?
Please, yes. As per usual. Let's see what fantastic roll we get today.
Right? Ah,
Ugh, this week is
5.
cursed.
evidently.
Okay.
That's a 8.
So staring up into the night skies, it seems like the prophecy is blocked out to some degree, and the horrid weather around you, though it has ameliorated a little over the last little while, prevents you from reading the stars as well as you'd like, and you're unable to get the prophecy at all.
I just go, damn it. Well, I suppose I can try again tomorrow night. Hopefully the weather will cooperate.
Yes, I hope so. Quite interesting reading the stars. This is one of the things that the dwarves miss living underground.
Indeed. Too busy mining for treasures and greed than to bother themselves with, I don't know, the more interesting things in life.
I've told them many times to venture out and see for themselves, but they're quite stubborn in that regard.
You can say that again.
Well, if you'd let me, hopefully I can come tomorrow and perhaps there'll be a clear sky for you.
Indeed. We'll try again tomorrow. Until then, we should get some rest.
Okay. So are you guys going to rest for the night then?
That, I believe, is going to be the plan.
Alright, let's roll luck. Oh.
What do you mean, oh? What the hell does that mean?
Bye, Felicia.
Okay.
Oh.
So you guys
Oh.
all go to bed, and eventually manage to get some sleep. And you notice something. The next day when you wake up, Dudairn, who had wandered off to go and do something, is nowhere to be found. And also that the weather has gotten much better. Though in every direction you see frozen landscape, there isn't the heavy blizzard from before. And it's almost nothing like the weather that was around yesterday.
Okay, well, that's good.
Oop, fuck.
Ring
The-
ring, motherfucker.
That's fate telling you you're about to die.
No, I just figured something out.
The whole town is here, though, right?
Yes.
Okay. Are there people, like, up and doing things? And
There most certainly are. You can see
Okay.
people
Are
wandering
the
about.
people undead?
bad. That
They
was
don't
my
appear
next
to be.
question.
It's early in the morning. You see a familiar family that's very close to your tent, and they get up and start boiling some water over a fire, and you see somebody who's placing like a ration into a pot, that kind of thing. Somebody else over in the distance like knocks out some boots and cleans them of mud, that sort of thing. Everyone's just getting ready for the day.
Well, at least it would appear that this army of undead did not come in the middle of the night.
Yes, that's always good news, but look in the tent here. Judair doesn't seem to have been here last night. Seems a bit troubling.
Indeed.
I mean,
Perhaps
it's
we
not like
should-
there's much around to wander off to.
Very true. Perhaps we should speak with Jax. I have I have some questions for him myself, but asking of Judairn's location would likely be helpful as well. Do you two wish to come with me?
Yes, I'll come along.
Okay.
Excellent.
Wandering over towards Jack's tent, you make your way through the city and wind around the different people that are all getting their day started, and eventually you find yourself at the campfire in front of Jack's tent where he already sits. You can see like a little fold-out bench that he's currently resting on, and he has what looks like a ceramic mug in his hand, a piece of pottery from which he drinks on occasion while he stares into the flames. Your footsteps are enough to rouse him from whatever it is that he's thinking of, and he stares up and looks at the three of you, and then he gives you guys a sort of dull greeting. It says, oh, hello.
Good morning, Jax. What day does it happen to be?
Oh, this again. The 82nd.
Oh my.
Why do you look so sad, Jack? The weather's changing. Things are looking up.
Yes, it's been nice for the past couple of days, but I take it Dudarin isn't with you.
No, we were actually going to ask you if you had seen him.
I did, many days ago, and
Naturally.
you may already know this, but he went to the Plane of Fire, and I haven't seen him since.
Excuse me?
He gives you a sort of sullen nod and then stares off towards the flames of his campfire as it crackles there and just kind of zones out into it while he's holding his cup.
My god, Dujarin he's gonna have himself killed.
How in the world would he get to the Plane of Fire?
It's a long story, Vorok, of which I would be happy to explain, but at the moment, just go with it.
Well, fair enough. If he's in the Plane of Fire, he could be in some kind of danger.
He's in extreme danger going there by himself. What a fool.
Jack pipes up and says he said he wanted to take care of something there, and I remember speaking of the trail involving the druids. I reminded him of his promise that he made to me, but it
Indeed.
didn't seem to lead anywhere.
This is troubling. I suppose our only option is to go after him. He has, in a way, forced our hands in dealing with this problem.
Well, things may be more complicated than that. You've met with the others down below, yes?
I have.
Well, apparently... Here, come close.
I come close.
Yeah. He whispers to you and he says, Darren went in and said to open the portal again in 7 days, that he might return. But 7 days came by, and neither Mavrin nor Westry saw anything that came back through the portal. Closed it again.
No, I think Dujarin does not fully grasp the particulars of the curse that surrounds us. I'm sure he meant 7 days, thinking that, he would come back in 7 days, not realizing that, well, now it's been, 11 days since we last slept.
You're stranded over there. You'll have to go and speak with Mavrin and Westry. They might be able to arrange for your safe return if you can go and get them and then return, but I don't know what you'll find on the other side.
Indeed, nor do I.
I
think... Continue.
Look. I am happy to help with your group, and I want to be a part of this town that you're putting back together. But when I swore my allegiance to Dudairn, and by extension, you three, I did so with the promise that I would become, well, compensated in some way. I'm sure that you remember that talk. It's an important one, and I worry that if you all travel to the Plane of Fire, then that might be the end of it, and you may never come back, and my promise will be unkept.
I understand your worry. It is not unfounded. Although I would say that if we weren't to come back, I think the townsfolk would look to you. Although I understand if that is not a burden you wish to bear.
I will take this up. It's not what I had originally planned, but given Dudairn's recent actions, it might be a good choice. If the three of you travel into there and don't come back, it might be wise to call a town meeting and transfer your powers to me. At least until you return.
Indeed.
No, don't worry, I'm going to come back.
He just kind of looks at you and gives you a nod and like a flickering, like disingenuous, but like attempting to be nice sort of smile.
I look towards Ivan, ignoring that comment. Ivan, this seems reasonable, yes?
Suppose so.
We have very few options at the moment. Dudairn hasn't, particularly given us a choice. I think a town meeting will be best. I do have one question for you though. Did the druids, did they return?
Druids did return. A few days passed and they made their way back to town. And, well, you weren't around to hear it. I came looking for you, but you were gone, as you guys are sometimes. They mentioned that the spirits had allowed it and agreed. And so, for now, people can hunt in the forest once again, though only if they're accompanied by at least one that has the, well, druidic gift, Jack says, with quotation marks in the air. He says they've taken some of the rangers and a few of the other townsfolk and have begun teaching them this gift. It's, proven useful.
This is excellent. This is very good news.
Well, I had thought the same. One of the more talented rangers, I've seen him produce those magical berries in but a few seconds after having only a few days worth of training off in the woods. However, Dudairn mentioned being extremely distrusting of the druids, and so despite the fact that the tools that the townsfolk have are handy, I don't know what it's going to be like when Dudairn gets back, if you do find him and bring him back.
Leave that to me. I will convince Dudairn of the true aid that we have received. He is stubborn.
Trust me, I don't fancy the help of these druids either. If we could rely on ourselves, I would, but I think that given the situation we're in, someone has to convince Dudairn that this is a good idea.
Indeed. At least for the time being, while this winter persists. A healthy distrust of them is not necessarily a bad thing either, though. They haven't exactly been forthright and outwardly friendly to us. But no matter, we will find a way to convince Dudairn.
Very well. If you're traveling in there today, then I say we should have the meeting.
Indeed.
Town is waking up. Want to do it now?
I think now would be best. Best not waste any time.
See, Jack looks over at you, Vorok, and then at Ivan to see what you two think.
What exactly are we planning on telling the town in terms of where Dudarin has gone and where we're going? I don't think it's best to tell them that
Well, Dudarin has gone off on a heroic quest to, I don't know, slay some mythical beast, and he has sent for us to help him. No need to get into specifics.
would even go broader than that. Just Dudarin is off to assist the town in some way. He's already left, and we're now going to assist him.
Indeed, and in our stead we leave Jack in control of the town until we return.
That
That sounds fine, Jack.
Sounds agreeable to me. I agree, we shouldn't tell the townsfolk. And if we're to tell them a lie, we should make it vague so as to cover our tracks.
Indeed.
Well, let's go now then.
Yes, if Dudarin's in the plane of fire, we can't waste any more time.
Okay, before we go, Vorok, look at me.
Yes.
Don't say anything.
I
at all.
barely understand what's going on. I just know that Dudarin needs our help.
That's all you need to know.
I'll nod at you.
All right.
Oh god. Anything but the nod.
Anything but the nod.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll throw a wink in there too, just to confuse you.
The legendary wink of reassurance. Okay.
I'm feeling very reassured.
Yeah, meanwhile. Okay. So you guys get up and begin to wander over towards the town square here, and Jack stands near the three of you, and then he says, well,
Wait, have people gathered yet?
there's a few, but not many.
Okay.
Jack turns to you and says, should I gather them? I don't know how you normally start these meetings.
Nor do I. I kind of just walk up to the crowd, and I don't know if there's like younger boys or children or something. I'll be like, can you go around the camp and gather everybody? Let them know that there's a town meeting about to begin.
Make
And
a persuasion roll.
I will hand each of them what looks like a lot of money to children. I
Which
hand
is-
them each 2 copper to, I'm gonna say 3 kids.
Okay, sure. No persuasion roll required. The children take the money and run off like the most faithful servants you've ever had. They go throughout the town, and sooner or later, other people start to show up. Adults, families, you see familiar faces, men of the militia, a ranger or two. The town meeting is starting to gather, and people are paying close attention as you stand at the center.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for gathering on such a short notice. We simply had a few things to go over with you. Dudarin has left the encampment to assist us, and he has called for us to aid him.
You hear
in that
grumbles throughout the crowd.
In that regard, we will be leaving to assist him in this matter, and in our stead, we will be leaving Jack Aesop in charge until we return.
You can see there's a great deal of discontent throughout the crowd, and somebody eventually calls out, "Why has he left us?"
I look to Ivan.
Back me up, bro.
He has not abandoned the town. There's something of importance that must be taken care of, and he's already left. We're going to assist him. We will be back. May
A
take some
woman
time.
calls out, "Wouldn't he tell us what it is?"
danger is too great.
He merely did not want to worry the townsfolk.
A persuasion roll, please, Meneltyr.
Oh boy.
Does he get bonus points for not being incorrect?
Having a mask always makes people trust your words.
Motherfucker, that's an 8.
It doesn't look good. The discontent begins to seethe and writhe throughout the crowds, and people are no longer, well, at least some of them, are no longer paying attention to you as much as they are either bickering or discussing things with their neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
I'll attempt to like raise my hand for silence. Do I get it?
As you raise your hand, you hear the volume lower, but most people don't even seem to notice at all, and they just keep going.
Alright, I'm just gonna yell at all of them. Shut up, everyone! Listen! We'd all be dead if it weren't for Judair, and who are you to question his methods?
Oh god, what have I done?
Make an intimidation check, please, Vorok.
I really wish intimidation wasn't charisma.
Oh,
God damn. The 3!
Is who's the town guard captain? What's his name?
Vara, yeah.
Vara. Is Vara in like the front?
He's not in the front. You can see him. He's talking with his militiamen, and you can see that though Vara is in a position of standing there and simply hearing what they have to say, his men look like they too are starting to either worry or doubt in the leadership and decisions.
Can I slam my hammer against my shield to try to make like a crashing sound to silence everybody?
Oh my god.
Oh, sure.
And
Okay. You swing your hammer and a loud clang goes out, and similar to when Vorok yelled out, it silences people for a moment, and they look over.
I'll shout out, listen!
Okay.
Like, I want there to be like quiet so everybody can actually hear me at this point.
Okay. So there's a brief moment where people are staring at you and haven't gone back to their conversations.
There's not enough time for us to give you the details, but if you remember that creature that had invaded the town when Dudarin and us first showed up, I'll kind of like give pause for people to remember.
Okay, you hear whispers that spread throughout the crowd and the mention of genies and red monsters.
Dudarin and ourselves are off to prevent a similar issue from occurring here. Please, we ask that you give Jack your full assistance while we are gone.
Okay. Make another roll, either intimidation or persuasion, your choice, before Jack steps up to say something. It's
Say
clear.
mods, doesn't matter.
Yep. Oh my phone.
noise.
It's a 7.
Oh,
The
it's
negative
a
one.
negative.
Oh yeah.
If at all possible, can I like motion at Vara to come over, like to us?
Oh, sure, yeah. Okay, you call for him, and Vara starts to kind of like leave his men. You see him wrap up conversations and then start to wade his way through the crowd towards you. And at this point, Jack steps forward and says, listen, everybody, these 3 brave heroes are going off to help Dudairn, and that's that. And he has not abandoned you. It's merely the best thing for the town right now. Let's see if the townsfolk seem to pause at all. Oh, wow. Well, I rolled a nat 20, apparently.
I fucking god damn.
Is that a good 20 or a bad 20?
Because I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, like, Jack doesn't have great modifiers for charisma. He's like a wizard. He's like, well, apparently today he does. The townsfolk shush, and you can see that some of them seem reassured to a degree. Vara makes his way over towards your group, and he steps up to you, Meneltyr, and he says, what's going on?
Would you be able to help us reassure the crowd? You have spoken and can attest to Dudarin's character. He is a good man and wouldn't do anything other than what is in the best interest of the town. Well, continue.
I don't know if I feel comfortable doing that. This sort of thing isn't really my strong suit.
Okay, I put my hand on like his shoulder, and I say, "Please help us in this," and cast suggestion.
How about this again?
Okay.
It's suggestion. He, from what we decided on previously,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But he doesn't know that it happened.
Yeah. So what's the save?
It's a wisdom save.
Okay.
I mean, he won't know it doesn't happen unless, like, he nat 20s it.
It's an
Right.
11. Very close. Okay.
So
That's a pass.
I am suggesting that
Help you with this.
he help us convince the townsfolk.
Okay. You can see your magic takes hold for a second, and Vara sort of straightens himself out a bit, and he says, "Fine, I'll help." And he steps forward, and he calls out to everybody, and he says, "Listen, everyone, you know me well. I've kept the peace and helped many of you over the last few days. I've kept the town safe, but what safety I've brought is nothing compared to that of Dudairn and his men. I believe that we should trust them. And if they trust Jack to run the town while they're gone, then that's what we should do. And we should try to be heroes like Dudairn and trust in this, even if we don't know as much as we'd like to know. Let's see if the townspeople care or not." Okay. It doesn't look too good. As Vara finishes his speech, you see that some people seem reassured and others don't. But by the end of it, the town, though undecided, they don't seem to be in the state of like an unruly mob. And you see some people talking about things like, what do we do if he doesn't come back? Or others mentioning things along the lines of, can we really trust Jack? Like, I heard he just spends all day in that tent there. He's never gone out and talked to anybody. There's concerns that are floating about. But ultimately, the atmosphere is that of uneasy compliance.
Mm-hmm. If I could like gauge the amount of compliance or reassurance as like a percentage, what would I
Insight
put
check.
that at? Insight check. Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, it would be an eh.
If we get
Calculating
like
census data.
there.
Okay. Alright.
Oh,
Okay, so that's a 17.
Okay. You think you have a pretty good read on the crowd. Granted, not everybody's here because of how town meetings work, but most of them are, and you think that more than 50% of them are on board. And the other 50% are on board more or less, but they don't believe you, and there's a great deal of mistrust that's moving about.
Mm-hmm. Good enough.
It's good. You look around, see like just more than half. Yep, okay, we did it. Jack turns back to you and he says, "Oh, I don't know if there's any more convincing to do. Not without mentioning something we can't mention."
Indeed.
I think that's how we'll have to leave it. But Jack, perhaps while we're gone, you should try and speak to the townspeople more. Try and.
I know it's not.
Seems like they really don't know who you are, and that's causing at least a little bit of the issue here.
I study magic. I don't do any glass blowing or anything. An old man screams "hey" from off in the distance angrily.
It's a real profession.
I swear, I'm valuable.
Yes, Dave.
We need to have a quest where we need to like get his help at some point, and it's like, now you come to me.
Yeah, he holds like the key to the universe's salvation or something.
I have pretty much my go-to for random villager is Dave. I don't know why.
He's like the avatar of one of the gods or something, and no one knows it. Okay, so with that, eventually Jack steps forward and says, "Now the meeting is concluded. You have questions? I'm here to answer them." And you see a great deal of people get up to leave, but like Jack is mobbed by people, and he and his guards just like they stand there, and you can see him answering questions one after another. And you three are more or less free to do what you want. Vara is still with you though, and before you guys can really say anything there, as the mob kind of falls down here onto Jack, and questions are thrown at him from every angle, Vara says to you three, "What's going on?"
I open my mouth to say something, but then stop and look over at Mental Turn.
If I catch his like glance, I look at him like, don't you fucking dare. How much has Dudarin told you?
Of what? He...
That's of the mission he's gone on.
I didn't know there was a mission. I've been keeping the peace here as best I can.
Indeed, like I had said, he didn't want to worry anybody, so he didn't tell anybody. And I apologize, but if he has not entrusted you with this information, I do not feel like it is my place to divulge it.
I may be but a retired guardsman, but I'm no fool, Meneltirn. If
Listen,
that's
Vara,
the case, then there must be something of worry.
Your discussion with Dudarin was that you and the guardsmen would keep the peace of the town and leave the battling to us, right?
Yes, but I swore my oath to Dudarin, not to... well, that man over there. And Sivara points towards the crowd that's all around Jack.
We can't give you too many details right now, but it's of the nature that we must go battle something that threatens the town. And honestly, we don't want to leave out too much information to cause a panic.
Well, I don't have many men. Perhaps this was the right choice. Well, I wish you the best of luck in your quest, then. I'll be back here for when you return. I hope it's not as dangerous as you think it would be.
Thank you, Vara.
He bows and then steps away from you three.
How many people have, like, eyes on us? Like, if we were to go into the, portal room, would people notice us doing that?
It's kind of tucked away, so you guys can slip into there if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna try and slip away here.
Okay.
Yes, let's go to the place that Dudarin is.
I look at Vara, just like, come on.
I think that, like, Meneltirn has a mini stroke every time Varrock talks. It's like his brain's gonna be like Swiss cheese by the end of it.
I'm just
Okay.
gonna like start walking off in whatever direction. I'm not quite sure where we're going.
Varrock
'cause
goes
I
in
don't
the
know where it
opposite
is.
direction of the
Confidently walking off.
I grab his arm to try and stop him. I'm assuming he just, like, drags me along. I go, wrong way. Follow me.
Oh yes, I suppose I don't know where I'm going.
Big surprise.
Okay. Meanwhile, in the Plane of Fire, Dudarin, you awaken the next day, and I have a question for you. What
Oh,
do
boy.
you have for food?
I had 10 rations. I ate one before I slept, so 9 now.
And do you have the ability to magically create water?
Oh boy.
No, I do not.
Okay. Now, the day before, you would need to consume some water during your time here, given how hot it is, before going to bed. You have a water skin, I trust.
Yes.
Okay. So, the water skin is enough water for a day, normally. Or, if I'm not mistaken, you can have half of it, but risk getting a level of exhaustion. Which of those do you choose?
I want to do an int roll.
An intro. Oh god.
Yeah. Figure's not so good at the brains.
Oh boy.
Okay, so
Definitely
probably drank it all.
Okay, so you're feeling fine today, but your water skin is empty from the previous day. You wake up nice and rested after a long rest, and as you get up, the landscape around you is more or less identical to what you remember from before. There is complication that comes with the fact that you have food, but your water supply is now gone, and the heat of the realm that you are currently in begins to hit you. What do you want to do?
I have no choice but to keep walking.
Okay. In the same
Stay
direction
here.
you were going before?
Can I see my footprints from the previous day?
Ah, you can.
Previous day.
I don't know. If so, then yeah, I'll continue in the same direction.
Okay. Let's see here. Looking for luck, calculating for the time that everybody else has been doing. So you begin to wander off in that direction, and luckily manage to find yourself in the shade. The large mountain that rises up places itself between you and that sea of lava, and the radiating heat from that seems to kind of give you a bit of respite from the horrid heat. You travel for a few hours and ultimately find nothing but rocky outcrops all around you.
Just keep going.
Okay. We'll cut back to the other group here while you're wandering underneath the shadow of the mountain. The three of you have slipped into a hidden passageway. It's the first time you're seeing this Vorok, and you'd note that a couple of guards seem to let you get into like a small crevice, which is barely noticeable here in the side of the hill. And as you make your way in, you have anything to mention to anybody here? Like while you guys are going down?
We look around at everything. Ooh, neat.
You have to like put butter on them so you can get in.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be a challenge, huh?
Okay. With enough time and a fair amount of shimmying, all of you are headed down the steps until eventually you make your way into the room where Mavrin and Westry are seated. There are two wizards there at the table. They look over, and with a fondness, you see Mavrin takes off his hood and says, "Oh, it's good to see you all again. Ah, and you must be one of these other town leaders I've heard so much about."
Yes, I'm Vorok Stonebreaker.
I see.
Nice to meet you.
The name's Mavrin. This is my assistant Westry. It's a pleasure to meet you, Vorok.
Oh, pleasure to meet you both as well.
So, Meneltirn, Ivan, Vorok, what is it that you're here for?
Well, we heard Dudarin went through the portal.
Indeed. I asked mostly as a courtesy. I figured that's what was going on.
Indeed, and I'm sure you're aware that he has not returned in a week like he said he would, as he does not fully understand the curse of which we are plagued by.
We left it open for the entirety of the day and took watch, spells at the ready, but nothing came through.
Well, that's at least partially a good thing.
I take it you're going after him.
Indeed. Although we will need to find a better way of communicating when we need to return.
Yes. I explained it to him as best I could, but he didn't seem deterred. I mentioned there'd be about a short window for him to come back. Something in my soul tells me he is not dead, but I don't know where he might be on the other side.
Hopefully, not too far.
Well, I don't know what Jax told you, but I'll tell you the same thing I've told Dudairn. I can open the portal if you want to travel through, but while it's open, anything can make its way back. And kept it closed on purpose, as you well know. If you want to return, well, that's up to you. We get paid either way, and if you want to keep it open, we'll guard it, even with the peril that brings.
Tell me, can you restrict the size of the portal and allow something to pass through?
Yes, in theory it should be possible, just to make the portal smaller but still functional.
Yes. For example, we could perhaps pass something through to signify we're ready to come back.
You see Mavrin pauses for a second, and you hear faintly a female voice from behind him that goes, "Damn." And he looks over to you and he says, "That is a brilliant idea, Dwarf. I can't believe I didn't think of that. I am ashamed that I did not think of that."
No worries, but as long as it's possible, I think that is our...
It's so simple. I was puzzling over all sorts of magic, but you could, just in theory, restrict it to be maybe a few inches across and then throw a rock or a coin through, couldn't you? Or a genie's arm could reach past. But what would happen if we closed it then?
Well, let's say this. Say, every day at about midnight for 10 minutes, you open the portal a very small amount. And, what could be passed through? I guess a few coins, one copper, one silver piece.
Of course.
Pass through, at which point you should expand the portal and we can pass through.
Okay. I will do this. However, how many days do I... Should this just be a tradition, even if you should not return after years? I don't know how long
looking at the rest
you'll
of the
be
party
lost.
here.
Huh. Well, I suppose we could... How long is a sufficiently long enough time that we would be, well, gone for too long?
It's up to you. My contract is indefinite right now. I may want to go up to the surface more as the years go on, but I
Well,
don't mind working here.
for the time being, I suppose we should set up a long-term plan.
Ivan, while you're discussing, can I start carving something into 2 silver coins?
Oh, sure.
There you go. Over the course of the next year, open it every day. After that, open it only on today, the 82nd spring. And continue that yearly, indefinitely.
So on the first year, it's every day, and then after that, it's what? It's once every season?
Well, I That's
Like a bit
probably
more frequent than once a year.
than once a year. That's probably a better idea.
Maybe like once a week, once a month, or season.
Once
Every
every
10 days?
season.
One a 10-day. Yeah.
The first of 10 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every 10
10
days.
days.
I mean, I was suggesting only opening it for 10 minutes, pass the
Mhm.
message through, not have it open the entire day.
Right.
Right.
So, you see Mavrin jots down these instructions. He duplicates them, in fact, on different pieces of paper, stuffing one into his pocket and leaving another on the table. And he turns to you and he says, "Good. Okay. We can work with this. Once per day for a period, we'll try and open this up, and well, I hope it just doesn't get that long."
Yes, I do not wish to
Hmm.
be in this plane for years.
Well, better to have a contingency plan than no plan at all.
There's something I should mention. How much do you know of the Plane of Fire? I know we spoke of this a little bit last time.
Well, apart from it being hot, only what we've seen.
I've done further reading since then, and I've come to learn a great many things. Mainly that there is actually a safe haven over on the other side. If Dudern is to survive for more than a few days, he's likely there.
Where would that be?
There's a great city in the Plane of Fire. They call it the City of Brass. And from the outside, it looks like a large dome of sorts, made out of pounded brass, and the whole city floats up in the sky as though by some sort of strange magic.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath this dome, there's a large city, and, well, according to the texts I've read, it's fabled that people of many kinds live there, and that it's considered the world's most infamous market. Anything can be bought or sold there, and other races can, well, live there at least for a time. Yes.
Well, that brings a couple things to mind.
The rest of the plane will prove to be a desolate wasteland for you and Dudern.
How could we communicate with the inhabitants of Plane of Fire?
Well, they have many different languages. If you make it to the City of Brass, Common should suit you just fine, but the other creatures, they speak Ignan. It's a primordial language. I have never learned it myself. I've looked at small pieces of it. It's difficult.
That may be troublesome, but we will find a way around it.
Hope
I-
so.
I do have an idea. If we manage to make it inside the Brass City, apart from finding Dudern, perhaps I may be able to procure some more crystals. If it is true that anything can be bought and sold there, a magic oddity such as that, I feel, would be rather common.
I thought of this too, though.
Perhaps one step at a time, Middle Tyrion.
I mean, I'd rather have a plan in place before we get there.
Do we even have anything with which to purchase something? I imagine it would be quite expensive. Not exactly a.
I have a
commonplace
good
item.
deal of gold.
How much is a good deal?
Hmm?
How much have you?
227 pieces.
Sizable fortune. However, I don't know if that is how much these crystals will run. I did not pay for them, after all, when I first acquired them.
Indeed.
You're welcome to try. Tales say that near anything can be bought there, including, well, even human lives.
Well, let us not delve into unsavory things. I'm only thinking for the benefit of the city. But we waste time. We should be going soon.
Fair enough. Shall we open the portal now then?
I look to Ivan.
I assume I could have like finished carving something into 2 silver coins at this point in time.
Yep, you can etch something into them.
All right, I hand Maverick a single silver coin that has the symbol of Tyr carved into it.
Okay. There's a hammer on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, he gives the coin a look and then looks at you.
I'll show him the other coin.
Ah,
This is what
yes,
we'll
perfect.
use to show that we're ready to pass through.
I will check every evening and hopefully see this coin once again.
Indeed. Until then.
Before we leave, do we have the supplies we need for such a journey? If this place is so bad and such a wasteland. I only have a few rations myself.
How many is a few?
A 6 ration.
I'm carrying 25.
And I have 10. That should last us some time. However, water may be a different sort of beast while we're there.
If we can survive a day, I think I can solve that problem.
Fair enough. Open the
Well,
portal.
if we're ready, then let's get going.
Okay. With that, Maverin and his assistant Westry step up towards the portal and begin to move the crystals around it. As they become further away, the portal grows until it's large enough for you to step in. Maverin steps back and says, well, goodbye. Best of luck on your journey.
Thank you, Mavrin, for everything. Menelturn will pass through the portal.
Okay.
All right, I'll follow, ready for combat.
Okay.
Don't get yourselves killed while we're gone.
Why'd we let him go last?
You see the two kind of look at each other and then look at you, and one of them kind of just gives you a nod.
I'll give him a nod and another confusing wink, and then I'll hop through.
Okay.
He doesn't really know what the wink is for.
You
Just
make
does
it to the other side, and behind you, the portal begins to grow smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And right here, I think we'll take a brief 5-10 minute break before the group explores the fire plane in search of Dudair.
All right.
Wait,
on a
question.
side note, also question, but
Please,
go first.
yeah.
Are we the first group to the plane of fire?
Oh, you certainly are.
Woo! Achievement.
Yep, one group got the first group to Nomentar award. One of them got the first group to the Plane of Fire, which is you guys. And then who else has gone to other planes? One of them went to another plane that shall not be named. Not of their own volition, it was a completely random thing.
Oh boy.
And I think, no one else has been to other elemental planes. One group
Ooh,
had an opportunity.
We went to Theo's plane.
Yes. Yeah, well, you're not the only ones there. I don't remember who the first was.
Does
And we did get their first session, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah, you started there first session.
yeah.
Yeah.
does Geofax's world count?
No, it does not. Puzzle boxes are exempt from this. First group to get a puzzle box is its own award.
Mm-hmm.
First
Yeah.
group to lose a puzzle box 3 times in a row.
There's a huge amount of the world which just hasn't been explored.
First group to give a puzzle box to a demon lord.
Yeah, congratulations.
Devil?
Yeah, no. If Theo
Yay!
conquers the world, do we get an assist on that, or?
Hey, Valoo
Done the
is
world.
safe for eternity.
True.
Can't conquer the world if you can't conquer Baloo.
You do get an
Conquers the world
assist, though.
minus
I'm not
Baloo.
sure if you want that.
But Aleutian, would Ivan know of the Plane of Fire and City of Brass from like a Farian perspective?
Oh, he would. Yeah, and so like stepping into here, he'd be like, "That's weird." Like, apparently it's the same. Everything that Mavrin would have detailed out would have seemed identical. The description of the city and the rumors around it and everything.
Now,
Okay.
So you
What
can
do you
treat
say-
that as you would. That might be an intriguing thing for Ivan.
Oh yeah, I mean that'll be a. If we see the City of Brass, he's probably gonna want to visit it just to see if there's a way home from there.
Mhm.
So
That's a common point between the two worlds.
the city of brass floats above a dome thing?
No, the city of Brass is a dome, and it floats in the air.
What did you say it floated above?
It wanders around, so
Oh.
whatever it's over. But yeah, so picture a large like sphere of like beaten brass, and then just cut it in half, and at the bottom is just like a bunch of earth hanging off, basically.
Mm.
Like a bunch of rock, maybe darkened like obsidian, that kind of thing.
Is it the top half of the dome or the bottom half of the dome?
The top half of the dome.
Okay, so it's like there's a bunch of rock covered by a dome of brass.
Yeah. So from your perspective, it's like somebody's holding like a very large cooking dish upside down, floating through the sky, and there's a bunch of rocks underneath it.
Bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit. All right, I'll be back.
Okay.
All right.
It's probably floating too high for me to fucking see it anyway.
Oh man. We're gonna find your corpse somewhere.
Oh, I mean, if you find me fast enough, I won't be dead yet.
We can hope. I'll be right back.
I should have thought this through more. So it occurs to me I should have thought this out more.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Poor Darren. It's okay. It's consistent with his character. That's all that matters.
I mean, yeah. Language barrier.
Language barrier.
Well, assuming my footprints are still there, it should be relatively easy to find me.
One can hope.
This is a genie right outside the portal,
Right?
waiting for us.
2 fire elementals, a genie, and an adult red dragon.
With Dudan's body under its claws. I mean, I'm convinced that there's nothing I can do that will kill me as fast as what Monday Group does.
Right? No matter what we do, we'll never die as fast as Monday Group.
I need to start like keeping track of like Thursday Group because I want to make sure that Ivan's brother doesn't die.
They gotta meet someday.
Oh man,
Well, they're in, like Nomentar now, so where they were.
that's
So I don't see them meeting anytime soon.
No.
Not unless we get a kind of like out of the blue whim just to go to Nomentar for no reason.
Just suddenly feel a real strong urge to go there for
We have no idea why.
The answer to stopping winter is actually in Nomentar. Elves caused it all.
Ooh.
damn elves.
Oh,
Elves
Got
that
it again.
don't particularly like me.
but I think I figured something out. Anyone else notice that almost immediately after Dudan went into the plane of fire, the blizzard stopped being bad?
I mean,
What does that mean, though? Does that mean you're the problem?
well, that's always been the case, but
I mean, listen, that's pretty impressive. You pissed off a god enough that they like ruin the entire world over you.
I mean,
And that's just
I wouldn't-
impressive. It really is.
I don't want that to be the case.
you gotta make amends, man. Gotta apologize. I'm sorry, Red Queen. I didn't mean to upset you.
I mean, I have already decided that if need be, I will sacrifice Dudan to end winter.
Bum, ba-da-bum. To Darren, so brave, so hero.
Whether or not that he lives long enough to get to sacrifice himself is another.
First challenge, make it to the Red Queen. So far, not doing great. Not gonna lie.
I mean, who would have thought finding water on the plane of fire would be hard?
Who would have thunk it, really?
Those metal dwarves probably drink lava.
Or those metal dwarves were the guards to the Brass City.
Yeah, like, don't let it continue to be in my head. As soon as he started describing it, I was like, fuck, I walked away. I walked away from where I needed to be. But there's no way the Brass City would be like right there. Less than a day's walk.
I mean, that sounds like something a Lucian would do.
What does?
Oh,
Fucking
no.
us with spiked clubs.
Well, that and putting the Brass City directly in front of Dudarin, but then not having him be able to get in.
They're like, we'll let you in if you give us your shirt. And you're like, I kind of need it. All right, well, fuck off then.
I'm not going back down to having no armor class.
Why? You were okay with that for a while?
I was
Broken
at a
arm
mis-
later.
I mean, I couldn't really help when God brought me back and burned it off.
Thanks, God.
And I couldn't afford anything nicer. Did fight the genie shirtless though.
True.
That worked out okay.
Rest in peace.
Rip Genie.
I was thinking Zai.
Oh.
Yeah, that genie was a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. Nah. Suggesting to him that he reveal his true form and nah, that was a great idea.
I didn't know he was a genie. I just saw that he was disguised. Could have been just like another wizard.
Hmm. Or a fire genie. Can't dragons also disguise themselves?
Most of them, yeah.
Hmm. Could have also been a dragon.
Polymorph and
In
stuff.
the middle of winter,
I mean, hey,
it would have had to be like a white dragon, and they're too dumb to do that.
could have been a red dragon living in the heat, having a good old time.
I don't think red dragons are all about that. They just kind of burn everything down.
True.
I think the page for them, like, the first thing is, like, Tyrants of Destruction or something. It's
I
not
mean,
that
maybe
bad.
a green dragon
Maybe.
or blue.
Or it could have been a good dragon. Why are we assuming he had to have been bad?
Why do you gotta put a color on them?
Well,
I mean-
because that's how dragons are. That's how they is.
That's racism,
Mhm.
Mental Tyrann.
Meneltiern is a specialist at racism.
I mean, I would assume that good dragons only disguise themselves to hide themselves from bad dragons.
Or not to freak out people.
I mean, if a silver dragon shows up, hey, silver dragon.
Yeah, it's different for all of them, but they do transform. Some of them just for fun. Silver dragons are like that, where they'll spend lifetimes as humans just wandering around through cities and doing random bullshit, and then be like, okay, well, I feel like being a dragon again.
This is boring.
That was
I'm going
fun.
back to in all reality, they're probably just like, man, humans suck. What a bunch of assholes.
Turns out it was a silver dragon disguise. I was like, wow, these hiles are fast. Genocide them or something.
The only option, really. Genocide.
Okay. Is everybody ready for an exploratory session through the Plane of Fire in search of that guy that wandered in there?
No, but we weren't exactly given a choice.
So I didn't tell anyone.
How about Ivan and Vorok? Are you guys back?
Yes, I'm
Yep.
here and good to go.
Okay.
Let's do it.
We are. Okay, folks, as you make your way through the portal, you watch as it then gets smaller and smaller and smaller to the point that it almost disappears, if not for like a brief sort of shimmering light that sort of holds itself in that position. All around you is the destroyed city of Valu, and you find yourself in a kind of, it's like a reverse dome, like you're in a pit, and there are ruins around you, and you can walk up to those ruins to kind of see more and whatnot if you want.
Immediately taking some time to memorize location of the portal.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you look at the ruins and note how it is that broken wall looks, and that decimated house, and
You know
just
what?
keep
I'll
that.
I'll take out a piece of parchment and begin kind of working up a rudimentary map that we can kind of alter as we go along, so we know how to get back.
Oh, okay, sure. All right, so you guys take the intelligent steps to find your way back here, and after you've jotted down some of the rough landmarks here, what do you guys want to do?
Vantage point, get up onto something that looks relatively high, and just kind of look out and see what I see.
Okay,
I'd probably look around and try to find signs of Dudarin.
all right. Nearby, there rests the remnants of a once mighty wall, and as you step onto it, you're able to climb its broken stones to get to the top, elevating you roughly about 8 to 10 feet into the air at the top of this pit that you guys were at. From here, you can see that you're not at the highest point of the city. Off in the distance, there's another hill on which you can see more rubble, but you do get a good look of what there is around you. In every direction, there extends out a great amount of red soil and charred earth, and there is nothing to speak of in terms of wildlife or flowing rivers, anything like that. However, off in the distance, you see some other features. There is a mountain range that stretches out in one direction, and beside that mountain range, and stretching across the earth, is an incredibly large pool of lava. It looks like a sea of lava.
Mm-hmm.
And off in that direction, that's where you see it. Floating above the sea of lava is the city of Brass.
Fuck!
You guys hear something? on the wind, you hear the curses of Dudarin.
Oh, look, the city's right there. Dudarin must have seen it and gone in.
Well,
Dudarin's
He doesn't-
blind, everybody. I'm sorry.
Dudarin doesn't exactly have his sight about him, so God-
I've seen him see lots of times.
did you just see you've seen him see?
Well, yes, he walks around all the time and isn't walking into things. If that doesn't say he's got sight, then I don't know what does.
Mm-hmm. In kind of like cardinal directions, relative to us, where is the pool of lava, the mountain range, and the city of Brass?
Like the distance, or sorry, where it is? I can do like a rough map for you.
Rough map, that'd be perfect.
So over here, we'll get you guys a little sketch.
And the city of Brass moves constantly, right?
It appears that it does. So here's all the mountains here,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys would be at a town that's over here, basically. And so the Brass City would be in there, so we'll get like a little circle. Give you guys a
Circle.
very rough idea of where you're at.
And in every other direction, just nothing.
So in every other direction, as you look around, you note something. It is but wasteland between here and the Great Sea of Lava. And wasteland continues towards the mountains. But off in the other direction, down towards the south, you can see something there are other burned cities and decimated ruins far off in the distance that spread out in what looks like a stretch of wasteland that has no end.
Does she just do this for fun?
Everyone has a hobby.
Looking around, do we see tracks of Dudarin? That's a hobby.
Do you see Dudarin?
Do we see either Dudarin or human-looking tracks?
I mean, that is
Perception
a
check.
question. Do I see Dudarin?
So, perception
He's-
check
he's
to
just
see
standing
Dudarin.
there. Just conveniently right there.
If I get a 20, who knows?
Straight perception.
Yep.
16.
Okay, no,
14?
nothing here is high enough.
6.
I'll have everyone now roll survival, please, and this is for tracks.
15.
Okay, that'll work.
2.
I got 16.
Okay, Ivan and Vorok, you soon chance upon some
Whoa,
steps
whoa, whoa.
here.
My 2 doesn't give me anything?
You're like, there's so much dirt everywhere.
Red, very hot dirt.
Vorok and Ivan, you look around for a moment, and soon you find tracks, and they look like they were put down here maybe like 10 days ago. They head off towards the sea of lava, first stretching down into the town, however, in that rough direction.
Oh, I have another question. What can I tell by looking at the Brass City which direction it's moving in?
Ah. What was your perception check at first?
Wait, was it 14 or 16?
Roll another one.
Okay. Hopefully it's better than a 2.
City of Brass creeps along the sky slowly. So slow it's actually rather difficult to tell where it's going. And you're not sure.
It's better than 2.
Better
It
than a
might
2?
be coming closer. It might be moving away, but it's clear that it's not completely stationary as it floats there, stable, up in the sky.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I have a rough map of the area. Were you two able to find anything?
Yeah, there's some tracks leading off in this direction. It looks like they might have been made by Dudarin.
Well, that's
Worth checking out.
that's the best we have, unfortunately. Let's go.
Okay. You guys begin to trace the steps, hoping that it'll take you to Dudarin. And meanwhile, off in the distance, Dudarin, you've been traveling along this side of the mountain here for a few hours and found nothing but more rocks. What do you want to do?
I will, being very hot, I will reach for my water skin, realize it is empty,
Super empty.
put it back, and really debate giving up my shirt.
I mean, on one hand you have a shirt, and on the other hand you don't.
What are the odds that metal dwarves drink water?
It's a good question.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna go under 50%.
Probably reasonable.
I will continue to walk
Okay.
for the rest of this day. If I do not come across anything else, I will double back and try as I might to get into that, past that gate,
Okay. Let's see.
regardless of what I have to sacrifice for it.
Oh. Okay. You continue walking and walking and walking and walking and walking. And while you do, I'd like you to make a perception check for me. You can't see far, but you do take note of your surroundings while you're meandering here and there.
Perception.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just that.
Okay.
It's 14.
Hours go by, and eventually your stomach grumbles and your body begins to really start to complain that you're not giving it the sustenance it needs. It feels like the evening is upon you, and the area has started to cool down a little bit as the night draws near, but you have found nothing. As you're setting out to find camp amongst the rocks, you sit down, placing your backpack and your bedroll there until eventually something catches your eye. The rock that you're against, this piece that juts out of the ground off from the mountain, seems to have something in it, and you see what looks like a shiny glint from the rock.
I will inspect it closer.
Okay. As you get closer, you stare at it to find exactly what it is, and I'm going to roll luck to see what it is that you find there.
A puzzle box to a lake.
Yeah, that's not bad. Not super good. Not bad. You see what looks like a fairly sizable ruby that is stuck into the rock. Even in its current uncut state, it still is precious enough to give off some faint shimmering as you look at it.
Can I just pry it out with my hands? Does it look that loose?
It looks like you're going to have to dislodge it somehow, and your hands won't do. You try to get a handhold on it, but it's kind of caught in there.
I'll take the... Well, I'll eat something first to try and regain a little bit of my strength.
Okay, that helps.
But then I will take the... Shit, I forgot the word for it. The handle of my axe and kind of hit away at the stone around the ruby.
Okay. It takes a little bit, but eventually the gem falls free, and you can now add a uncut ruby to your inventory.
Boom. Got a key into the city.
Now, what is your constitution score? Like, what is the modifier?
My constitution is 14, so plus 2.
Okay, plus 2. So, given how that works, that means you can go up to 2 days without eating or drinking, and potentially not have to take a level of exhaustion. So, on this first day here, you settle down, and your body is feeling very, very famished and in need of water. But because of your constitution, you're able to push through it and hopefully get some sleep. Okay? Meanwhile...
Since I didn't find anything, I do plan on going back to the city, especially now that I have a way to pay myself in.
The three of you are wandering and following these tracks, and while you're going through the city. The city is strange. What looks like balls of flame, like someone could encapsulate the total fire that's in maybe a small bonfire, and then animate it at waist height and give it life. That's what you see. There's these balls of flame that kind of move up and down the streets. Some of them wander through doorways into buildings. Others just kind of float down the road. Sometimes they kind of move past each other. They don't seem to bother you.
Are there any insights I could gain from these, like what they are?
Yeah, you can roll insight.
Is that insight or arcana?
That depends what you want to know.
I want to know what they are.
Okay, that would be Arcana then. Alternately Nature, but I'm guessing Arcana is probably the big one for you here.
8.
You don't know.
How's an 8?
Yeah, you have no idea. These could be animated flames. They could be elementals. You're not sure.
Seeing as
it could
how
just be
they are
phenomenon.
not bothering us.
It could be like
seeing...
weather or something here.
Could be the tortured souls of everybody that was killed in this city.
That's probably weather.
Could be anything.
Yeah.
seeing as how they're not bothering us, I'll just kind of pay no mind. Continue on.
Okay. So the group continues past these, and I want you to all make another survival check now that you're leaving the city. Let's see if you can follow those tracks.
There you go. I think that might just be 15 flat. Yep.
I got a 14.
15. Ah,
That one.
Thankfully, one of
very
you guys
good.
got a 15. The tracks are a bit faded, but here they continue on the same streak that goes out towards the large pool here. Are you guys going to follow them?
yep.
Okay. It takes some time, but eventually you're able to get over towards the large pool of lava. As you get over there, you feel a great heat that comes from it, and you can see that occasionally, off in its vast expanse, bubbles come up here and there, letting out small, noises that echo out across the great fluid plain there. There's movement that comes from the city, and during this whole time, while you were wandering through the city, going across the wasteland, getting towards this pool of lava, it seems that the city has moved a bit, and it looks like it's slightly, more towards the west in the sky.
So it's kind of moving towards the mountains then?
Yeah, it looks like it moved towards there, but just slightly.
Mm-hmm. Now, is it moving directly, due west, or northwest or southwest?
Looks like it went straight west.
Okay. Cool.
As you get there, you note something. The tracks turn and begin to go towards the left.
Whereabouts are we? So we're right about over here?
Yep.
Okay.
Keep going.
Keep going. Looking around, do we see anything of interest or?
Sure, make a few more perception checks. Let's see if you guys can catch anything interesting. 16. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know mods, so just 16.
In 8?
Okay, nice.
Really
Solid
good.
eight.
Solid.
13.
There
Okay.
you go.
As you wander around, you don't see anything really. Staring here and there across the plain and the wasteland, the dust occasionally kicks up in the wind. Off in the distance across these great seas of lava, you see what look like dark clouds of soot, just pure blackness from which lightning and thunder occasionally erupts. But that's about it.
Being that we've traveled for a good amount of time, is there a noticeable day-night cycle here?
Oh. Off in the sky, hidden behind what looks like some sort of smoke, there is a source of light, and you see what looks like the sun, though it's kind of tinted red, and it comes through like a great amount of smoke down towards you. It seems, according to this, that it's roughly about the afternoon.
Okay. Well, just more or less checking so we know what time midnight is.
Mm-hmm.
A very important time. Okay, so, apart from that, we'll just continue with the tracks.
Okay. Now things complicate. Right at about here, the tracks, which are steady and keep going there, are then met by a set of two other tracks that you see come up. And the three of them seem to move about one another for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
The other two tracks that come over here, they're similar. They look like they were made by somebody stout. Like, they look like dwarven footprints. However, they're incredibly heavy, and they press into the ground quite a bit. It's like each footstep was smashed down or something.
Right. Looking around, there's no evidence of people,
Mm-mm.
right, or anything. And we're pretty close to the the edge of this sea, correct?
Yes, you are walking with it probably like a comfortable 120 feet away, sort of thing.
Okay. It appears he spoke with someone. Doesn't look like there's any sort of altercation. I guess we try to
Keep following.
Indeed.
Okay. Eventually, these 3 footsteps, they head off towards this mountain. And as you get closer, you eventually see that there's something coming towards you. You see 2 dwarves, seemingly made of metal, with hair replaced with flame that travels all around their chins as though to create a fiery beard, and off the top of their heads as well. They have with them metal arms and look like they're ready to do battle, and the 2 of them approach you with a sort of casual nature, though you note that their hands are at the ready, swift to pull out their arms if need be. As you're getting closer, you also notice something else. Off in the distance, you think you see something different about the mountain, like there might be something metal in it, or some kind of shiny thing.
Right. I look to my party. I suppose this is who he spoke with.
Oh, well, hello there, dwarven brothers. I'll say to them in dwarvish.
The 2 of them look at each other, and then one of them raises a hand towards you as the 2 of them are walking up. You guys still have some
Like-
time before they arrive.
Like they're like waving, like hi, or they're like
Kinda.
stop.
Yeah,
or
no, he just kind of like holds like a hand up in recognition that you guys are there.
kinda like hey.
Yeah.
Those are
Okay.
quite odd dwarves.
I don't think they're dwarves.
Well, they look like dwarves. We got the beards and everything.
You are a simple man, Vorak.
Have you ever seen dwarves like that before?
No, have you?
Well, no. So how do you know they're not dwarves?
How do you know they are dwarves?
Checkmate, atheists.
I think he's got you there, Metal Tier. You're on equal footing.
Ugh. Ugh.
Even if he was bested, he would never accept it.
You're not wrong.
Uh,
God damn.
do we know anything about these metal dwarves?
Ah, well, that's a good question. Does anyone have some intelligence proficiencies?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my god, this might be relevant. I have proficiency in history and religion.
I have religion. Does that help?
I have religion, history, and arcana.
Is Ivan's knowledge relevant now?
You can roll either of those, Ivan. It's your choice. Tell me
Yeah.
which one you roll, and that'll determine.
I'm gonna have the same mod in both.
I know you can roll
Oh,
Arcana,
that's 5.
so that one is
Fair.
good to go middle tier.
Okay.
So let's say that was history. Can I make a separate roll for religion?
Oh!
I normally
Will
wouldn't allow it,
be
but since you haven't been
necessary.
doing your checks for so long, I'll let you roll a second check for the other one.
Alright.
How does a natural 20
Oh fuck!
sound?
Oh my god.
Sometimes there's just nothing there. You got an Arcana of 20?
Natural 20.
Okay. And everything else was mediocre, yes?
Yeah. 7 was
Can I
the
do
highest
one
I
for
got.
religion?
If you have proficiency, yeah.
I do, yes.
Okay.
Let's see. Come on, 20. Damn it.
Hey,
Okay.
not
16.
16. You think that there's something here that you remember, Vorok, and as you stare at these creatures which are making their way over towards you, they seem very much like figures from a religious story that you remember way back that involved the Red Queen, and it seemed that like these may have been some of her subjects. You're not really sure what that means, but you think that they're related in some way. Beneltirn, with your Arcana check, you actually know what these creatures are, and you know that they are the Azer. And the Azer are these metal creatures that look very similar to dwarves and are incredibly gifted at smithing, but are actually renowned to the point of being essentially like better than them. They're creatures that are not only forged themselves, but they are masters of forgery, when it comes to creating all sorts of weapons and armor and that sort of thing. And you also know a little bit else about them. You know that they generally dwell around volcanoes, and you also know that they have a sworn enemy that they absolutely hate, which is the Afridi.
Okay, not high elves. Good.
No, they despise fire genies, and their history is long and
killed
storied.
one. We killed one of those.
You can't prove it.
Shit, you're right.
Can't even tell them that.
So, as they approach here, they get close enough that one of them comes into speaking range, and one of them calls out. You can tell he's only saying a couple of words, but it's in a language that none of you understand.
Question.
Yes.
Do we know their kind of like alignment?
Oh. I'm gonna roll luck. You had a pretty good
Okay.
check, but I don't want to give you everything. If I get a 10 or higher here, which is actually more than 50%, you will know what their alignment is. Oh, that's... LOL, that's
Good.
8.
Fuck.
You don't
Okay.
actually know what their alignment is, but you do know
Okay.
that they're at war with the Afridi, or at least
Look,
hate them.
if they hate fire genies, they can't be all that bad.
Right, guys?
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll try communicating with them in Common, Dwarvish, Celestial, and Draconic.
Okay.
If that fits any bells.
I'll try. Well, since he's doing all of those, I'll throw in infernal.
And I'll throw in giant.
Okay. One after another, you try to speak in different languages, and you get the idea that these creatures are actually fairly accustomed to this, because one after another, as you speak one of these languages, one of them just shakes their head. Like, nope,
Okay.
nope, nope. And then
Okay.
eventually you've exhausted your list of languages.
I say,
And you see one of them actually finishes at the end, and he says a bunch of things that make no sense whatsoever, and then he points off towards the city of Brass, which hovers above the large sea of lava there.
I shake my head like yes, and then I point to all of us, and then I point to the city of Brass. Like, we want to go there.
Yeah.
He sticks in his hand.
Like, that's obviously where Dudarin went.
I'm waiting.
The two look at one another, and they speak for a moment, and then they turn back to you, and you notice something. One of them crosses his arms, so he's no longer really, like, ready to grab his weapons. He just looks like he's disagreeable. And the other one steps forward in front of him and makes a gesture to you. And I'd like all of you to please roll insight. Okay, pretty good, pretty good.
23.
Okay.
16.
It's not bad. Not bad. 23. Not bad. That's a
It's acceptable.
10. That's a 10.
So there's a 23 and a 16?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You two know what it is that he's trying to get across. Meneltyrn, you're not really sure what the gesture means, but he puts his hand by his mouth and does like a shape with his hand and a gesture, and you can tell he's trying to say that we need to talk, basically. Like, you need to speak our language, is what he does.
Right. Okay. Well, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, so he's doing some weird gesture, but your other two companions here, you guys know what he's trying to get at.
He's saying that he wants us to be able to communicate.
Yeah, he's saying, like, we need to talk. Like, we need to talk, but all he's got is gestures, so where that leaves you guys, who knows?
Do we still see the tracks that Dudarin made in the ground?
Yes.
Okay, I want to sort of gesture, like make like a motion for like Dudarin's height, like point at the tracks.
Oh.
I'm gonna also throw in. I'm gonna like make my left arm limp and just kind of flail it a little bit.
One of them nods, and the other one nods as well, and then he says, like, he kind of like points at the ground there, and then traces upwards with his finger, pointing first towards the mountain, and then he points way off to the left.
Oh, Darren.
Okay.
Well, that explains where he went. Although I would like to get to the city of Brass as well
I
once we
would
find
like to
him.
as well, but let's find Darren first. Make sure he hasn't gotten himself into more trouble.
Just before we go, I'm gonna kind of give them a gesture, like we're gonna go over there to get him, presumably, but just over there towards where he went, and then I'm gonna say, point at all of us again, and then I'm gonna point down at the ground, like then we're gonna come back here, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna shrug my shoulders, like then I don't know what.
And then go into an interpretive dance.
Okay, I'm gonna roll intelligence for them, and I'd like you to also roll intelligence.
See how-
Straight int to try and get this across to these creatures.
Meanwhile, where Darren has found himself in more trouble.
Darren's like,
Oh, I didn't roll
I'm
very
dying.
favorably.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Oh no.
wonderful.
You go through this long explanation, like you point here and like you point over there, and then do a gesture over here, and then you nod to see if they understand, and the two look at each other, exchange a couple of words, and then one looks back and he just like shrugs.
I'll step forward and just like extend my hand as if I was gonna shake.
Oh, interesting.
It is on fire. You burn your hand and die.
Is his hand actually on fire, or is it just their face?
No, it's just like his face. He extends towards you his hand to shake, and he shakes your hand. As he does, you feel that his grip is basically more like it's stronger than yours could ever be, but he's restrained with it and actually like doesn't crush your hand. It's like he's probably shaken the hand of fleshy creatures before.
And done it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And he kind of like gently gives you a handshake and then lets go and kind of nods at you.
I'll sort of give them a nod and maybe like a small bow, and then back to the party. All right.
Okay.
Go find you, Darren.
And then we can return. Well, onward.
Okay. You guys continue forth, and the two strange creatures eventually turn away from you. It's some while that you're going along and eventually get towards the mountain's edge, and there you can see that tracks do indeed go along the side off towards the left. By the time that you get to maybe about here, the tracks still don't finish, and you go to find a place where you might be able to finish for the day, given that it's getting late, though you might decide to try and press through and just keep going. But you notice something here. The tracks stop at an area, and it looks like here Dudairn had found camp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How old does the camp look? Looking at the tracks, I guess.
Sure, make a survival check.
And I guess specifically, how old are the tracks of him leaving, and how old are the tracks of him when he got there? Survival is. So that's 19.
This looks very recent. You're not sure exactly what it would be in terms of days, but probably within maybe 1 to 3 day window.
Well, I think we're getting closer.
That's a good thing. Should we press on or make camp for the night?
Well, I wouldn't mind some rest. I don't like this place. It's too hot.
Aside from the mountain, is the rest of it just like a wasteland here?
Yep.
Okay. And kind of looking, I guess, down the mountain, can we see Dudairn? Like, is he just kind of like outlined against the horizon there, or no?
Sure,
We wave to
roll
him.
roll perception.
11.
11.
Right there.
Way off in the distance, you think you see a speck that is hours away, traveling along the bottom of the mountain. He's like, it's pretty far. Maybe he's like 6 hours of travel, just like straight down that way, and there's just a lone figure walking there. There's a couple of clothes from like his common, a couple of colors from his common set of clothes that against the backdrop of the black mountain here are just like obvious, but he's basically like, he's 4 pixels on your computer screen way the fuck over there.
Oh, I should say, no, I'm not actually wearing like common clothes. I have like some pants and chainmail.
Okay, so yeah, it'd probably be like the silvery shine from his.
Right. It's like there's some figure out there, but it's far too distant to make out anything.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I might see someone out in the distance. I can't see if it's Tudaran or not.
Well, do you think we could catch up with him, or is it even worth it?
Do we have an idea of how long we could travel before suffering exhaustion if we just like kept going?
You could do a forced march, and I would basically have you do a couple of Constitution saving throws every now and then.
Mhm.
Okay. I'd say for the moment we keep going.
All right.
Okay. A Constitution saving throw, everyone, and tell me if you can't beat a 10.
As we're getting closer, I'll
I
try to
didn't
be
beat a
yelling
10.
out at him too.
God damn it. I got an 8.
Oh no.
That's a 14.
Okay.
Oh wait, saving throw?
Yeah, it's. Or sorry,
Oh,
I do believe it's a saving throw. Yeah, it's a Constitution saving throw.
10, yes.
Okay. So anybody who got under that, you just failed and have a single level of exhaustion. You are about halfway there and think that you're going to get there soon. However, it's becoming difficult to see him. The tracks are okay, but darkness is falling and the day is ending. Do you guys keep going?
I don't think it's best to travel at night here. We don't know what could be lurking in the darkness.
Fair point. Let's find a place to camp and we'll head off early in the morning.
Okay.
Indeed. Kind of taking advantage of the rare circumstance of being in the plane of fire. Are there stars? Are there celestial bodies? Like, what exactly is it? Are the skies like here?
Your worst nightmare, because the skies are clouded with smoke. And just like how the sun is barely visible peering through all of this fog, so too are the stars, brief twinkles that can otherwise only be partially seen.
Okay. Is there any like break in the clouds at all? Like
On
anywhere?
occasion, but it's so rare that reading your prophecy would be impossible unless some sort of magic or event could clear the skies for a moment.
But the it doesn't look like out in the distance or anything like the skies ever clear.
No. It's nightmarish everywhere.
Time for bed.
Okay. Everybody goes to get some sleep. Same with you, Dudaran, off in the distance. And everybody wakes the next day.
Dead.
Not dead. Super not dead. As you guys get up, let's roll to see who will go first here. Dudaran, what do you want to do? You wake up the next day, your body is mad with you for having no water, but you still have food, and the night is a brief moment of respite from the heat during the day. What's the plan?
I'm gonna just to try and spur some more energy into my body. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna take a ration and eat the whole thing
Okay.
as fast as I can, and then pack it up and start marching.
Okay, so you keep going, and you're just gonna keep traveling in that direction?
Well, no, since I didn't find anything safety-wise or water-wise, I'm gonna head back to the town. I can pay
go
my
back
way
to the
in.
town. Okay, sure. So you travel in the opposite direction. Meanwhile, the other group, you guys are waking up here, and as you do, you notice something. The figure is moving towards you, off in the distance.
I go, huh. Well, he's coming this way, so I say we wait.
Let's keep moving.
But he's walking this way.
And if it's not Tudaran?
How would walking towards him help us?
Well, the tracks still go in this direction.
Fine.
three pack up and start to wander off. And in about an hour's time of travel, you realize that it's Dudairn right in front of you, and he's alive. He looks like he's famished, not as stricken with like exhaustion like you guys are. Although, given that night, you would be fine now because you guys can create water, right? Ivan,
Yeah,
did you swap
I create
for-
water now.
Okay. So yeah, you create some water at the beginning of the day, and traveling over towards there, you can see Dudairn, who's in his blindness, unable to notice you guys.
I just shout, "You're an idiot!"
If I can hear him, I
You
just
certainly do.
instinctively shout back, "Shut up!"
It's okay, I guess. Eventually, after some time, you hear footsteps, and then your group steps into your field of view.
What on earth were you thinking?
Why are you here?
Well, you didn't exactly give us a choice, jumping into the portal, into the plane of fire, leaving the town behind.
That's why I didn't tell anyone. Didn't necessarily want you to follow me and leave them unprotected.
And you thought it would be a good idea for you to come into the plane of fire by yourself.
It's better
Yes, you
than
don't look so good, Dudairn.
You know, I could use water.
Unfortunately, we don't have any.
I'll hand him my water skin.
No, don't. Doesn't deserve that.
I eagerly snatch it and chug the entire thing.
Nice. It feels very good.
Thank you, Ivan.
What were you doing out here, Darren?
After wrestling with it for a moment, I was going to try and speak with the Red Queen.
Wow. You're a bigger idiot than I thought.
Sorry. Wow.
I figured I could work something out to maybe
With
convince her to
with a
end
god.
winter. I don't
You
know.
figured. that
Well, then
you-
why didn't you go to the city back there? You just walked right past it.
Oh, the gate, they wouldn't let me in without paying, and I didn't have enough. That was.
They were going to
fun.
let you in? They wouldn't even, well, let us get near it without being able to speak with them.
Oh, I bribed with them.
Great.
Coin talks, Metal Coin talks.
Well, I suppose we know how to get in then. And now that we've got Dudairn, perhaps we should head back and see if we can't get inside.
I don't know what good it'll do us. I don't think the Red Queen is in there.
Well, she is likely in the city of Brass, which is, well, they're likely the only ones who are capable of helping us.
What?
The city of Brass? The fabled city of the Plane of Fire?
Mm-hmm. No, I
City-
got that.
Right, the one that is just off in the distance.
Excuse me for a minute. Junior walks to a rock and punches it as hard as he can with his messed up one.
Okay. Yep.
So it's more like a limp.
He gently
pat.
caresses the rock.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I really wish I could speak to those metal dwarves then.
They are called. How is it pronounced? Azur? Azur.
Yes.
They are Azur. Inhabitants of the Plane of Fire.
Yes, otherwise known as metal dwarves.
They don't speak common or dwarvish. There's not much I could do.
No.
Especially since... What do you mean it's just off in the distance?
It's on the giant sea of lava. It moves, so it is currently floating above the sea, making its way west, if I'm right, and well, that's about it.
How was I supposed to see that?
Well, now you're just making me look bad, Dudarin. I was defending you. I told Minotaur here that you could see just fine.
I can see for a certain distance, Morak. You're half right. Tilva
More like
bless-
60 feet, right?
Tilva blessed me with very good vision, but only for a while.
Perhaps you should not have ventured into the plane of fire without full vision.
Or
Perhaps.
water, or a plan.
But fear not, we've rescued you and hopefully can get into this brass city.
Well, I don't imagine Jack would have ratted me out after only 2 days.
Well, when we went to sleep and awoke, 11 days had passed. So here we are.
Of course, because
You remember how that works? Because I don't think you did when you told the wizards that you would be gone for a week.
it doesn't always happen.
Most of the time it does.
Sometimes it's been only 2 days or so.
Sometimes. You were hedging your ability to return from the plane of fire on some time. Regardless, we should keep moving.
As a person, I don't have an answer to that.
Well, let's see if we can get into the city of Brass, shall we?
Oh,
Indeed.
By the way, I found this. And I pull out the ruby.
I would like all of you to please roll perception.
$15.
Okay.
10.
Ah, a natural one.
Oh my god.
Is it even there? I can't be sure.
Who rolled the 15?
I got a 15.
Okay. You see that extending his hand out here, Dudairn has some sort of gem in it. It looks red. It's probably a ruby of some sort. But you see something else that's red over his shoulder, and slithering down the mountain, there appears to be some large serpent-like creatures approaching.
This is a fucking egg, isn't it?
You
It's a fucking egg.
God damn it.
It's the what?
It's an
It's a-
egg. You're,
God
you're-
damn it, Illusion!
Every victory has a cost, I suppose.
Seem to have gotten something's attention. Does the egg look like the same kind of red as these serpents?
Whoa, why are you saying it's an egg now? How can we be sure?
It's definitely an egg.
The
It's
serpent-
a fucking
yeah.
egg.
The serpents are fairly large and like in length are probably about 7 feet slithering on the ground. They're quite like thick and muscular, much like a python would be. And all around them you can see warbling heat, like that distortion effect when there's like a great amount of like difference in air density. As they're coming down towards you, you can see that they have a tinge of red to them, but they're about half orange as well, which the gem does not seem to have the color of.
How far away are they?
They are probably about 200 feet away. They're traveling down the rocky slopes of the mountain with relative ease and traveling towards your group.
Looking down at the gem again, but does my stone cunning give me any kind of like, extra hint? Is this actually a gem?
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead and roll your stone cunning.
When Ivan
21.
mentions
21.
there are
God damn.
beasts behind us, I will probably hurriedly put the ruby away and get my axe.
Okay. It is a ruby of reasonable size and is probably worth about 20 gold, actually, given from your appraisal.
Okay, but it does look like a actual ruby.
It is a actual ruby
Okay.
with a salamander in it.
What?
Nice.
No, just kidding.
Don't do that to us.
God damn.
It's like 2 sessions from now, it hatches into Darren's pocket. Gets a pet salamander.
Be fine.
I've
How
conquered.
familiar.
Good people of Blue, I've conquered the fire plane.
I'm readying my weapons at this point since there's these large serpent things coming towards us.
Shouldn't we head in the other direction?
Yeah, but if they catch up to us, not sure what running's really gonna do here.
Perhaps you shouldn't steal rubies from snakes, Dudern.
I'll keep that in mind.
So are we just standing ready or are we taking off?
I thought you said 2.
No, I said a few.
You.
Too
few-
few.
A few is like 4 or less.
A couple few.
No.
That's several.
A few few.
That's several.
What do you guys want to do here? They're moving fast, and as they traverse down the mountain, you can tell that they will actually outrun you.
So Darren, give me the gem.
Why? It's just a gem.
Well, maybe they want it.
Who's to say if we even give it to them, they'll let us go? Stop
Then
that.
we're back to square one.
Well, it's worth a shot.
I will. Fine. I'll reach and get the. I'll reach in my bag for the ruby and just. Where are the snakes?
Behind you.
Well,
Don't just
Yeah.
give it to me.
I can probably throw it farther.
Don't throw it.
Fine, here.
All right. I'll take a couple of steps forward, just like place it on the ground, then step back.
Okay. You watch as all of these creatures finish slithering down here, and then they start moving in your direction.
I step behind Ivan. Like, right over here.
You can feel a radiating heat that comes off of their bodies as they come closer, and they pass by the ruby and continue moving towards you.
They
Okay.
don't say, give us our babies.
How
No.
fast are they moving right now?
Maybe 30 feet a turn.
Damn it, Ivan! And I just go and attack the nearest one.
Oh god.
Everybody please roll initiative.
Oh, who said they wanted to attack us? I can actually outrun them, so bye, guys. Where's my dice?
Hey,
Ooh.
How? Solid 3 on initiative, guys. Just want you to know. Doing
That's great.
pretty good.
Solid, man.
it's awesome.
You're up first, Dudarn.
I mean, trusty axe, don't fail me now.
What they wanted to say was, I think you guys are lost. Can we help you?
Trusty axe, you failed me now.
There's a kiosk just over there. 2
I know, can you
TPKs
just-
in a week, says chat.
No.
You
We're not
underestimate
Monday
our
group.
power.
Is
We
that
only-
your is that your
We
turn,
only kill the
Daenerys?
important rules. Yeah, I mean, these haven't proven that I can't kill them in one hit, so I'll
Okay.
save that second attack. You don't have to put them all on me.
Well, that seems appropriate.
Just saying. Mm.
Aleutian got to have his year of snakes after all.
So,
It's worse. It's the year of fire snakes. It's a whole different thing.
there's a
Much
few
worse.
attacks coming out. Oh boy. Oh jeez.
I'll just tell you right now, my armor class is 16.
Okay, thank you. That will save time.
Mhm.
There
They
are a
all
total of
roll.
8 attacks coming towards you, Dudarin.
Only 8.
Just 8. And you have 16?
Yeah.
Guess it's 1.
They all get 2?
3 hits. Okay, those missed. And lastly... Oh, those missed as well. So 3 hits coming in.
3 out of 8 ain't bad.
Could have been better.
Could have
You
been
take
worse.
a
But the
total
damage.
of 11 damage.
Okay.
Huh.
They start gnawing and biting at you. Over here at the back, there's 2 attacks on you, Vorok. And then another 2. I take it
Mine's a
that
15.
15? Okay, yeah,
AC.
you're good there. And the next 2. Oh, that's actually 15 exactly. So you take 1 hit. You take 3 damage as one of them bites you. Ivan, 2 attacks for you. And
AC is 19.
one of them's a 20.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Does that hit?
Of course
Okay.
it's a miss.
3 damage. After that, it's your turn there, Vorok.
Alright. Once that snake attacks me, I'm going to fly into a rage.
Okay.
And I guess I'll just try to take out. We'll go this guy.
Ooh.
There.
Roll damage, please.
Oh, was that a nat 20?
Mm-hmm. A nat 20 was had.
Yeah, sorry, I was paying attention to chat. Fuck them up.
Kill him. Oh!
Okay, that's gonna be 12, 13, 14, 16, 17.
17 damage.
Damn!
Wham.
Gonna roll. Okay. So one of them looks very badly wounded and is near dead. Is the one closer to the mountain or the other one you're attacking?
Closer to the mountain.
Okay, so
is the one I
17.
attacked.
And you note something. You bring a triumphant strike down with your heavy weapon on this creature and land a near, death blow to it. It coils back. But as you strike it, a wave of heat seems to radiate from its body and wafts into you, and you take some fire damage. 2, to be precise. Is that your turn?
Yeah, that'll be my turn.
Okay. You're up, Ivan.
Do I notice the wave of heat that emits from these snakes when they get hit to Vorok?
Perception.
Just create water on them.
13.
You see yes.
Okay. Well, regardless. Bonus action cast Divine Favor,
Okay.
and then I'm going to hit the snake near me.
Alright, go for it.
Wonderful roll. What is that? It's an 8.
An 8 misses, unfortunately. Is that your turn?
That's my turn.
Okay. Mental Tier, you're up.
No, too.
I think his mic's muted.
You are correct. My mic was muted. I have fixed that problem though,
Okay.
and I'm going to go ahead and go over. I'm just gonna back up a little bit. Oh, can you get us the
Oh, did we not have that?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we did the save was deleted.
Yes, I remember.
I mean, you can put me back not in a pile of snakes. I'm fine with that.
Okay, so I was like over here. I want to go back about 10 feet or so. Okay. So I'm gonna cast Ray of Sickness at 2nd level
Mm.
against. Let's see here. I'm gonna do it against the one that's right next to Ivan.
Okay. Is it a dex save, or are you doing the attack?
Attack.
I think it's...
I make a ranged spell attack.
Sounds good.
Okay. So here, what is my bonus? Plus 5. That's a 15.
That'll hit.
Okay, that is 3d8 poison damage.
Oh.
Okay. Let's see how this goes. That is 10 plus. That's just 10. And it must make a Constitution saving throw. I'm going to assume that's going to be my spell save DC, or it's also poisoned
It is
Until the-
poisoned.
until the end of my next turn.
Disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. Okay. Is that your turn?
Yeah, fuck that snake.
Darren, you're up.
Clannern says he's never seen SimCity and this way before.
Yeah, it's a new one.
Axe attack.
There you go.
18.
18 hits. Roll damage.
Mm. 3.
3 damage. Okay. To this
I'm
one.
It doesn't really matter which one.
Wow, that's so much damage.
But I'm going to Accent Surge.
Okay, you take 1 fire damage,
Of course I do.
striking the creature. And then action surge.
Oh.
That'll hit.
That one is 9 damage.
Okay. Creature's still alive.
How much more fire damage should I take?
Not too much. That's jinxed. 5.
5's kind of a lot.
Don't worry, it's not that much.
Let's just let's second wind right now.
I'd like you to roll perception, Darren.
That thing I'm really good at.
There's more snakes.
Perception. Yeah. 16?
You note that as you're striking this creature, its body and form, its scales are incredibly resistant to your attacks, and you think that your normal weapons, though effective to some degree, are only half as much as you would hope.
I mean, all I have is normal weapons.
Man, that sucks.
Then we should run.
Well,
Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Said the man surrounded by snakes.
I mean, only so many can hit.
Am I right? Why do you do that? You know? Why'd that snake do that?
This one disengages and moves over here.
Oh, fancy snake.
This one does as well.
The snakes feared you, Darren.
Or they just think you're too easy, so they're focusing elsewhere.
You do Darren's attacks first. A set of 2 against an AC of 15, was it?
16.
16. So 1 hit, and another hit, so 2. Darren, you take a total of 9 damage as these snakes bite out at you. There's a couple of attacks towards you, Vorok. A total of 4. Okay, those are misses. And 1 hit. Vorok, you take 2 damage. Ivan,
Okay.
2 attacks. Both are a miss. And Meneltirn. Oh, what's that?
I said, haha.
And then Meneltirn, 2 attacks. Meneltirn does a 11 or a 21 hit.
The 21 hits a little bit.
You take 2 damage.
Ouch.
After that, it's your turn. What do you want to do there, Vorok? You're surrounded, and the snakes have moved to get behind Ivan. They're around you on all sides.
Well, seeing as I got that one pretty good the first time, I'm gonna try to finish that snake off.
Are you in a rage yet?
He is
Oh, yeah,
raging.
I'm in a rage.
Just want to make sure.
He's always in a rage.
Yep,
There we go.
that'll hit.
Alright, come on, let's finish this snake off.
Get some good damage. What? Oh,
Ah. So that's 7.
7, okay. Slamming down here with your axe, you don't actually manage to kill this creature. And your blade, though you hear like the sound of like crumpling bone underneath here, actually kind of slides off of its scales, and you don't really get the direct strike you were hoping for.
Well, they've got some sort of protective scales, but the only weapon I've got is my axe here. It's going to have to do.
Is that your
Yeah, I
turn?
can't really go anywhere, so yeah, that'll be it.
Okay, Ivan, you're up.
Damn it, I wish I could that snake.
Alright, going to take a swing at the damaged one over here.
Okay.
Does a 9 hit.
9 does not.
Okay, going to bonus action, Bolt of Inspiration, swing again.
Okay. Bring out the cleric of ass kicking. Hey! Okay.
That might be a hit.
That's why you keep a candle on the
There
board.
we go.
Yeah, so let's throw that. Let's throw that.
Oh god damn.
All the dice. All the dice.
I think this snake might be fucked. Okay, what the fuck, game?
That was pretty
Rolling.
big.
7, 2, 4. Wow.
Alright, so that's
What's that total?
10 plus 2 for the hammer itself.
Okay.
So it's 12, and then an additional 11 in radiant.
Okay. Your hammer comes down, and you get a direct strike. You see the creature, like, it slithers towards you for a second, and it gets ready to lunge out with its teeth to bite you once again, but your hammer comes down and smashes the top of its skull with divine light, and there's like a blinding flash there, and when everything kind of comes back, you can see it on the ground with its skull caved in, a bunch of what looks like sort of weird fleshy parts inside there, which look like they're currently simmering right now with a set of like charred smoke that billows out from the top of its head, and the whole thing just stops moving.
Huh. Nice.
That'll do. That'll do.
You
Okay.
do not take heat damage because you killed it.
Yeah. On a side note, does it look like the body starts to decompose after it dies?
Oh, no, it doesn't.
Okay. That's my turn.
Okay. Next up, after that, it's your turn, Meneltier. Ivan has just smoked the snake that you had cast that spell on, and now
Indeed.
there's one in front of you.
Had to be snakes.
It's always snakes.
It's always snakes.
It's always snakes.
Damn fire Nazis.
Goddamn. I'm going to cast spell. But I have to decide. Do I want to make
So many
myself
spells.
invisible? Or do I want to make his
Snake
sight
invisible.
invisible? No. Let's see here. I'm gonna cast. I'm gonna do Tasha's Hideous Laughter on the snake.
Interesting.
Does it have to understand me? Because if it does, then why would I do that? No, it doesn't. But it does need to have an intelligence score of 4 or higher.
That's your guess.
And that is a wisdom saving throw if it matters.
So do you want to cast it or not?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna cast it.
Okay. Wisdom saving throw. Ta-da. He has a 10.
There we go. It's higher. Oh, 10. That's less than 13. There we go.
So failing the saving throw, the magic does take hold, and the creature seems to be enraptured by this strange magical effect. What does Tasha's Hideous Laughter do exactly? Incapacitated?
Yeah. So incapacitated, and yeah, and
Although
prone.
that doesn't matter for these creatures.
I didn't imagine so.
Okay, so he is incapacitated.
Mhm.
Cannot take actions or reactions.
So, seeing that is the case, I'm gonna go ahead and make a little bit of a move, probably like right about, right over here.
Okay. Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Okay. After that, let's see, it's yours now. What do you want to do, Darren?
I mean, I would like to not be here.
Roll for not being here.
Wizard cast a not being here spell.
Let's go for an interaction. We should probably run. This is a little too much. Guys,
The great hero calls for retreat. What do you guys say?
I think we're doing all right.
You're
I don't
kind
think
of
that we can
surrounded
outrun
at the
them.
moment.
Ivan has, like, snake brain matter all over his body. We're doing fine.
Listen, man, after like weeks in the cold, feels kind of good to be warm.
Right?
No, it feels terrible. I long for the winter storms.
Here comes the attack.
much to my dismay, they're gonna keep fighting. I'm going down. No, I am.
Ah!
Hey, there's that nat one.
Okay.
Knew it. Knew it.
You swing your, what is it? You have an axe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And while you do, the grip seems to loosen. You quickly try to grab onto it again. I need a strength saving throw from you.
Oh, goddamn. There you go.
That's an 18.
You successfully managed to hold on to your weapon. Is that your turn?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Snake time. Let's see here. This creature's incapacitated. Does it get any saves it can make to break Tasha's Hideous?
At the end of its turn.
Ah, okay. Well, we'll do that now. It's not going to move or anything.
Right.
It gets a 14, so it's out. So this is
Fuck
normal
that
again.
snake.
Your joke wasn't that funny. And then...
I didn't even tell a snake pun. God, I feel like less of a person now.
Right?
You probably should just hit it with magic missile.
Let's see.
Well, I don't want to get hit. Is the problem.
Darren first. AC of... Oh, that's a crit.
Ah.
And then...
I'm
yeah.
down.
Does a 16 hit? Yeah.
That yeah,
So
I'm down. If they cannot roll less than a 6, I am down.
you take a total of 8 damage. So Dudarin is down. After that, 2 attacks on Vorok. Followed, oh, so one of those is going to hit with the 21. And 2 more attacks on Vorok. And those both miss. So damage. Oops, that was jinked. Vorok, you take 3 points of damage.
Does that round up or down?
Everything in the game rounds up unless it doesn't make sense.
Gotcha.
Then 4 attacks on Ivan. Those are 16s, so that's probably a miss. And then the other 2, one of those is a 21.
Yeah, I guess that hits.
You take 5 points of damage, and I think you have a concentration spell going right
I
now, don't you?
do.
So you gotta get a 10 or higher on this con save.
Done.
Still
Easy.
good. Okay.
You said 5 damage?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vorok, you're up.
Alright, I'll turn to that snake that I've been beating up.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing the hammer kind of explode through it, I'm gonna try to hit it with the, like, turn my axe and hit it with the blunt side of it.
Oh, okay, sure.
Basically try to bash his head in. Why won't you die, snake?
Oof.
Oh, damn it, that's a 12.
That's why.
12. Swinging an axe with the flat side is considerably more difficult, and you actually manage to miss the snake here. It weaves out of the way when you make your strike. Is that your turn?
Yes.
Okay. After that, what do you want to do there, Ivan?
Let's see. If I were to move, I would get attacks opportunity from both of these, right?
Yes, these 2 are in combat with you. This one's close, but not in combat.
Glancing over my shoulder, does it look like Dudarin is still going to suffer attacks from these snakes, or are they kind of moving on to Vorok and myself?
Oh. What you see there is that one of the snakes grabs onto Dudarin's leg and then goes to drag him away.
Okay, which one is it?
This one here.
Do I see that?
Okay, I'm going to move here, not disengage, so I'll take whatever attacks are coming.
Yeah, you would see that as well, Minotaur. Everyone can notice it.
And I'll make my attack against it.
Okay. So I'll do 2 attacks of opportunity while you're moving. They both miss, so you're good there.
Okay. Bonus action attack again.
Did you miss the first one?
Missed the first one, yeah.
Okay.
Does a 2 hit?
Assuming a 20 will hit.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
It's 7 physical and 6 radiant.
7 physical, 6 radiant. This one is unhurt. But your strike against it is enough to make it let go of Dudarin and turn to face you.
Alright.
Do any of the other ones go to pick him up?
No, but they do look over towards this fight keenly.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the end?
That is my turn.
Okay. After that, what do you want to do, Manaltir?
Well, first I want to go ahead and give myself a little bit of distance here between myself and all of the snakes.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a magic missile.
Ah, against the
Against
one
the-
Ivan hit?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see what we get.
That one's no good. These ones are always hard to roll, especially with tabletop physics. There we go. So that's 1, 2, 6, 9 damage.
9 damage. Okay. I'm gonna roll luck for you. The creature dies after your magical darts fly out and pelt it a few times.
Yeah.
Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Nice. Okay, got a kill. Dudarin, a death saving throw, please.
Oh boy, here we go.
One to fail. After that, it's the snake's turn. And, let's see here. Are. This one goes to collapse on Ivan here. And then got a ton of attacks coming out. So we'll start with you, Vorak. The first two, does a 19 hit?
Yep.
Okay. The next two, 21 and a 17.
Those will both hit.
So 3, and then... Boy, 13's probably good. So 3
Yeah.
hits. You take a total of 3 plus you take 11 damage. And then Ivan, there are also some attacks coming out.
All misses.
All misses. Nope. That's 21, so that's 1 hit.
Are you sure that hits?
That's another 21, so that hits. And then that's a 14. Okay, so 2 of them strike, and I need 2 Constitution saving throws.
Ooh.
You take a total of 9 damage.
Alright, first con throw is a 12.
Okay, you're good.
Second one. Oh.
It was gonna happen eventually. So you take 9 damage and lose your spell.
Man.
After that, it's your turn, Vorak.
God, please let me finish off this snake in front of me.
Oh,
There we go.
are you swinging
Maybe.
normally or with the flat end?
No, I want to bash it in with the flat end.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage. Let's see what you get. It's always suspenseful at D12s, because it's like, hey! See? Because you don't know if it's going to be that or like a 1.
Yeah, that's a 16.
Okay, you swing here with the blunt end, and the snake comes up to get a strike on you, and you hit the top half of its head here, and so you can see like some sort of goo gushes out of its eye as it ricochets off the side and smashes into the mountainside and stops moving. Is that your turn?
Yeah, I'll just turn to the snake over here. So,
Okay.
you're next, snake.
He's talking to them. The snake whisperer. Ivan, you're up.
Alright, I guess I'll cast a level 2 Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
Wow, that is disappointing.
That's no bueno. A 4 and a 1. Oi.
No.
Oi.
Okay. And that's my turn.
Okay. After that, it is yours, Meltir.
All right. Let's do this. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna cast Sleep on. It's a 20-foot radius, so I'm assuming I can get all of them, right?
You can.
Okay. On all of them, I just need one more D8 if you could spawn one in for me.
Hold on a sec.
Oh, you're casting sleep.
Yep.
Hmm.
You can stick one of mine.
That will hit your allies as well, so...
Creatures in slumber.
Creatures
Can I
within the
not-
20-foot point.
Can I not target only the snake?
No.
Okay.
You could try and move the box so it maybe affects, like, the 2 on the outside or something. But if you just drag 20 feet over everybody, everyone's gonna
Right.
have to, yeah.
Okay,
deal
I'm
with
gonna
it.
do it. I'm gonna go ahead and get just these 2
These
on
2?
the outside.
Yeah. So go ahead and, let's see, you need another D8.
I'll grab one of
There you go.
oh, never mind.
It's all good, dude. We got dice for days. It's the tabletop
Infinite dice.
simulator magic.
Mhm. All right. Let's see what we get here.
All ones.
8, 7, 2, 8, 4. Oof, the value.
29.
29.
And so, starting with the highest HP, but since they both haven't taken any damage, does it matter?
This one passes out immediately.
Subtract each creature's hit point from the total.
The
and then
other
move
one
to
does
the
not.
next. All right, I'll take it.
Is that your turn?
And he is asleep until the spell ends.
Okay. You send out your magic here, and after a brief moment, it takes hold. One of the creatures continues fighting like nothing's going on, while the other one slowly kind of leans back and then just slumps onto the ground. Dudarin, a death saving throw, please. No one's allowed. This isn't Monday group. This is Tuesday group. We don't roll like that.
That didn't go on the table.
That's okay. All right. You stopped it before it finished. Here we go. Uh-oh.
Not a one.
It's not a 1. 2 fails. The creatures are up next. Let's see. Some attacks coming out. First you, Vorak. 21 and 19. Do they both hit?
God
Ew.
damn it! What
And
are
then-
you rolling?
Another 19, but that one misses. So you take 3 hits. You take 11 points of damage, Vorak.
God damn.
And then Ivan, a set of attacks on you as well. Does a 18 hit?
It does not.
Okay, that's a natural 10, sorry. My eyes deceive me. Natural 10. And then those miss as well, so you are good. After that, it's your
Okay.
turn, Vorak.
I guess I will just try to bash that snake behind me.
Okay.
Same way with the blunt end. There you go.
Dude, you're a fucking crit machine tonight.
Does that hit though? Is the question.
I will create a enemy so evil that crits do not affect him one day. Okay, not bad.
That's 17.
17 damage, same as last time. That one is already wounded. I'm gonna roll here to see if you kill him.
Murder his face and his family.
You certainly do. Just like the last one, you swing out and turn the axe head just before it lands, smashing against the creature's body. It ragdolls against the mountain before slumping over motionless.
I'll turn back around to this snake and just tell him, remember when you said you were next, snake? I lied. Now you're next.
Roll insight.
That's only a 6.
You think the snake is afraid?
So afraid.
Ivan, you're up.
I'll reach down and cast Spare the Dying on Dudarin.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did we really have to though?
Metal Tyrann shoots him with a fucking ray.
Do you want to go back to Blue and tell them their hero died?
No.
And I'll bonus action cast Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay. So that gets
And
rid of
then
your
back.
previous concentration spell.
Well, it was already gone from the last.
Oh
attack.
yeah, they did break it. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Metal Tyrann, you're up.
Alrighty then. So we got one slept snake.
One sleep snake.
Eh.
Got slept snake.
Oh shit, I made those 2 attacks on you even though he was slept. Alright.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Well, it's a good thing they both missed.
Motherfucker.
Mhm.
Son of a bitch. Let's see here. What do I want to do to these
Kill the
snakes?
snakes.
I mean, that's what I want to do, but
Don't you have that like hypnotic gaze thing?
that's only when I'm within 5 feet of them.
I ain't
It
getting
just kinda-
close to those things. Dude.
And
It also doesn't do any damage.
One less snake.
True to deal with. It's here. So first thing I'm gonna do is cast magic missile.
Okay.
And I'm actually not gonna use that. I'm just gonna flip them. I'm gonna cast it on this one.
Okay.
So that's 5, 6, 7, 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay.
Yep. And
Against
then
this one.
correct.
Right. It's
And then
still
I'm gonna
alive.
go ahead and move about 20 feet towards this neck.
Okay. Darren has no turn. The creatures are next. Let's see.
My AC is now 21. Need more AC.
As you approach here, Minotaur, the creatures start to turn around, and one of them actually wakes the other here, nudging it, and then they all disengage and run off.
What? Bullshit. Waking up my snakes.
They all disengage?
Yep.
Wow.
They don't get particularly far, but they do all disengage. And that's their turn.
I'll kind of chase them off to make sure that they keep going. They don't stop.
Okay. Vorok, how about you?
I'd like to try to catch a snake. Grapple this one.
Oh
With-
god.
You're gonna grapple him?
Yeah.
Okay. Please go ahead and make me an athletics check.
Why do you have to grapple the fire snake?
So I can talk to him. I can speak with animals.
Do it. Do
You got a 15.
I had an 18 before mods.
Oh, nice. Okay, you have successfully grappled this snake on your turn. It's not going to go anywhere. You do, however, take 6 points of fire damage. Is that your turn?
Yes.
Okay, so you go up and manage to grapple there. Ivan's going to chase them. They will keep running. Minotaur, what are you doing?
Where's the ruby?
The ruby's on the ground, like right here.
Right over there? Okay. Not exactly in grabbing distance. Let's see here. Kind of out of spells, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pick up that ruby.
Let's not forget this. Okay.
Don't mind me, guys. Just picking it up.
I step over Dudaren's, almost lifeless body, and
So these ones escape. The other one, however, tries to break out of your grasp, and I need you to make either an athletics or acrobatics check, and you need to... Wow, you need to beat a 5.
Boom. 20. Natural 20.
Okay, you get a grip so firm here against this creature that you're pretty sure that he's not going anywhere, and we will end the combat there. Now, there is a problem, however, the limited amount of time that you have to hold on to him because of the burning. Now, the rest of the snakes have started to swerve up the mountain through the rock and escaped. Their dead brethren lay strewn about you. Alongside them, Dudairn is on the ground unconscious. Meneltirn has gotten the gem back. Ivan has scared away the rest of these. And back towards the center of the whole thing, Vorok is currently trying to pin a snake to the ground.
Ivan,
Vorok,
what are you doing? Or Vorok?
What am I doing?
I don't know.
What is anybody
What are
doing?
any of us doing?
Dudairn, what are you doing?
I
You all
figured
kind
if we
of look
could
the
capture the
same at a
snake, I
certain
could
point.
speak to it. It was trying to steal Dudairn. It's quite strange. Quick, help me knock it out.
Maybe it's an assassin sent for you, Vorok. You should kill it.
It's working for the dwarves.
Don't be ridiculous, Minotaur.
Could be working for
Snakes
the fire
don't need
dwarves.
money.
Don't make him think the fire dwarves want to kill him. We'll never get anywhere.
Can't argue with that logic.
Ivan, quick, come hit it in the head. Help me knock it
I'll
out.
attempt to knock it out.
An attack roll with advantage, please, given that you just got a 20 grapple check.
It's a 14.
That's its AC, so you hit. Roll damage.
Hey.
Okay.
It's 9.
With a triumphant smash to its head, the creature goes out cold. And Vorok, you take another 2 fire damage from the whole ordeal, but it is now passed out and you can let go of it.
Oh, thank you, Ivan. How do we restrain a snake?
We could just kill it.
Well, I wanted to talk to it.
What are you gonna say?
Well, I don't know. I've never talked to a snake before. At least not some sort of strange fire snake.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to know why it was trying to drag Dudarin away, though.
Well, if I had to guess, the Brass City, which is not too far away, is known for the sale and trade of anything, even illegal items. I could almost guarantee that they would sell Dudarin into slavery.
I just told you that snakes do not desire gold. That's ludicrous.
Fire snakes might.
They're far more refined than normal snakes.
Hey, they had some tactics going on and stuff, you know.
They have a burning passion.
Wow.
That was good.
Alright, well, Vorok thinks about how to question a snake.
Well, I'm just gonna speak with animals as a ritual and then talk to them.
Okay.
As a reference, Melchior, you're not allowed to use that. Claim already.
Okay, so you guys are going to camp here for 10 minutes?
Yeah, while we're waiting, I guess, inspecting the bodies of these snakes, does it seem like they're like magically decomposing or anything, or?
Ah. You can see something that's going on. The heat that radiates from their bodies is starting to dissipate, and their forms are starting to change a little. They seem to, like, wilt almost, but their corpses don't disappear. They just shrink a little bit, and they lose their color and distort. It happens rather fast. It's like watching a human decompose in, like, a time lapse.
Do they have any money?
Do they have any money? You find no money on them, sadly.
Okay, so
Damn.
a little bit of evidence to bolster Vorok's theory.
So you said they're losing their color?
Yeah, so their color is like fading and their skin's changing.
Do I know what these snakes are if I Arcana it?
Potentially, yeah. Roll Arcana, let's see.
Let us see. I think I do. That's a 22.
You know that these are salamanders, which are a form of elemental native to the fire plane. The salamanders, similar to the Azer, have a relationship with the Efreet, which are famous here. And instead of being at war with them and hating them like the Azer, the salamanders are more or less their lackeys. They're slaves, and the majority of salamanders are actually reasonably cunning. Some of them have the ability to speak and take commands, things like that, and others are just a brief step above common beast. If you had to guess, these would be more like that variety.
Right, okay.
Do you have like a specific line of inquiry?
Are they animals that could be affected by Vorok's spell? Right. No, they're not. Right, they're not animals. They're magical of some kind.
Yes.
Okay. Vorok,
Yes, Middleton.
just after getting a better look at these creatures, I don't think your spell is going to work.
Oh, and why is that?
Well, they're not animals.
I suppose that does raise a problem. What are they then?
I wrestled the snake for nothing. Fuck.
Sam. They're what is known as salamander. They are the lackeys of the Efreet, powerful fire gene, which moves my theory of them capturing Dudarin to them possibly bringing them to an angry Efreet who is upset that we possibly killed his brother.
Well, in that
Or-
case, perhaps I should try to finish this one off.
I think
Although
that
I
would
think
be-
you're wrong. I think they're snakes. They do not look like salamanders.
Correct.
I'll just try to find like the biggest. If there's any kind of loose rocks around the mountains, I want to pick up the biggest, heaviest one that I can, and then try to smash the snake.
Christians 2, atheists 0. Okay. You go out and fetch a heavy rock, and with this creature completely passed out, you smash down and finally end its life.
All right. Well, let's get back to the Azure.
Yes, I like them quite a lot more than these snakes.
Slight issue.
Hmm.
Still pass out on the ground.
He can carry you.
Yeah, I won't even give it a second thought. I'll just throw Dudan over my shoulder and start walking back to the city with them.
Okay, sure.
Pick up the Ruby.
I already got it.
Um,
Not bad.
before we leave, though, inspecting these snakes, does it seem like when we were fighting them, they were resistant to our attacks in some way?
Ah, yes. You felt like your attacks were not nearly as effective and that they were really resilient to you smashing them with your hammer.
Okay. Inspecting one of the corpses that's kind of faded and decayed here, does it still seem resilient?
Ah. No, it seems like it's like losing its magical luster.
I guess comparing it back to like a normal snake, how different is it now?
It looks almost like the consistency of like a normal snake. You know,
Okay.
like it's reverting back to normal. It's like all the magic that was once inhabiting it is leaving it, and it's slowly becoming just like a normal, very large python. Though its facial features and everything remain the same. It's very like serpent-like and not as snakish.
Perhaps we should show one of these creatures to our metal dwarven friends. If they are enemies, perhaps gain some type of favor with them.
Perhaps they may find that pleasing.
I'll drag one of the snake bodies with my other hand, with Dudarin over the shoulder.
Okay. All right. So you guys are going back to the
Alright.
Azer then.
Yes.
All right. Some time goes by as you travel back, but you had woken up just a little while ago and then met Dudarin, and so it's probably just early afternoon, if anything, when you finally get back towards the gates, and you find that a number of Azur are there standing outside. Two of them approach you. They look like the exact same ones that you had seen before, and they see you with, well, Dudarin passed out and the snakes, and they look over at it.
Are they like
Can we
Do
judge
they-
their reaction?
right? Are they like yeah?
Are they like
Fucking
pleased,
snake.
or just like kind of like, why is this guy carrying a snake around?
Yeah.
You can roll insight, those of you that are currently awake.
It's
It's a
13.
modded 20.
Oh, I had a big 7.
With
I
the
think
modded-
they like the snake.
With the modded 20 here, Ivan, you think that they are, they're curious and intrigued by the fact that you're coming back like this, and that's apparent to all three of you. However, Ivan, you think that they are actually impressed to some degree by the fact that you've brought back one of these dead creatures.
Okay.
Hmm.
Good
Okay.
shit.
Can we see the city of Brass from where we are?
Ah, you can. It seems like it's in a very similar spot in the sky, but has definitely moved and has instead gone in. It seems like it's traveled north.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's
like floating in the air. There's nothing connecting it to the ground at all.
Not at all.
Okay, so I'll start to gesture between like our party and like the city, and like kind of give them a questioning look, like how do we get there?
Hmm. A similar gesture, one you remember from the previous day, is played out, where one of them says, "We need to talk." You can see, though, that the others around him don't really seem to be quite as cross as they were before.
Hmm. Just kind of scratching my head, trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, it's a perplexing one. You guys see, think of what it is that you want to do here.
Metalteer, do you know what language they speak?
Well, the Mavrin said they spoke Igni, a type of elemental language. Although I do not know Ignin. My bad.
All good.
They speak Ignin. It's a type of primordial language. Apart from that, I thought they spoke common, but as we can see, they don't. They want us to be able to speak with them. Do they want to bring us to anyone, or?
I mean, it seems like they just want to be able to speak to explain whatever it is, but
What can we get across to them exactly then?
So we're standing in front of, what was it, a gate that like goes into the mountainside?
Yes.
Using the same kind of hand motions that they were using for like speak, I point. I kind of want to. What I want to get across is like a question of, is there anyone in there who we can speak to?
And you're saying, when you say in there, are you pointing at the city or at the mountain?
The mountain where like the gate is. Like
Intelligence check.
Okie dokie. Say 12.
Okay. They don't seem to understand what you're saying. They're patient with you, and as you play out your gesture, you can tell that they're not really bothered or anything, but they don't know what you're trying to get at.
Right.
Perhaps we could draw some kind of picture in the dust on the ground.
I'll kind of gesture to the two that are near us and kind of like make a motion of that they can't understand, that like the no talking gesture, and then I'll point at the gates and kind of give them a questioning look.
In the meantime, I'm gonna take Vorok's suggestion, as surprising as that sounds, and kind of start scribbling something in the dust, and essentially just two pictures. One where it's like us and like kind of noises coming out of each side, but like a big like circle with a line through it saying that like it's not happening, and then another picture, but like with a question mark above it, like, is there someone we can speak to? And then I'm going to also draw a picture of the mountain. Very elaborate.
Okay. Ivan, unfortunately, your gestures meet once again just the confused head shaking of these Azure. And your image as well, Metalteer, seems to get the same response.
I look at them and I shrug my shoulders. Like, I don't know, what do we do? And I see if they have any suggestions.
Well, we need to relate to them somehow. That we need to find someone who can speak both languages.
Hmm.
Okay, I draw another picture.
Hmm.
It is of us right now not being able to talk, and then another picture with us again, but with someone in the middle who's talking to both of us.
Yeah, depending how patient they are, we could even do like have a picture of us with like, up and down, like lines coming out, and then a picture of them with like squiggles, and then a person in the middle with like the lines for us and squiggles for them, so like it kind of looks like both different languages are coming out of them.
Right. Can we do that? And
Your
will they
image
understand?
seems to be understood by the creatures. They roughly get it. And you see one of them kind of like looks at you four, and then he like points at a portion of the picture, pointing at the guy in the middle, and then he does like a gesture where he brings up his hand above his eyes, like he's shielding them from the sun, and like looks across the landscape, like there should be something there, and then looks back to you.
Right. He doesn't know anybody who does that. Well, that's unfortunate.
If we point down at that and then up at the brass city, does that get any kind of reaction?
It does. You see that they look at that, and they look over at the city, and then one of them turns back to you, and in a surprise, he shakes his head back and forth, like to gesture no.
Okay.
And you can see that he looks mad when that happens.
Right.
Not like he's about to
Okay.
attack you, but like something you've done has upset him.
Like, we're not bringing you there,
Yeah.
Buster.
Probably a free.
Well, Mavrin said he was able to vaguely understand some Ignan that he saw, but I don't know if he has any sort of fluency.
Yes. It seems like they don't
We
like
could-
the Brass City very much either.
From what I understand of the Azure, they're more along the lines of protectors. I don't think they dislike the Brass City. I don't know, it's hard to tell, and I'm only going off of what I've read.
Well, seems like we can't find a way to get there right now. Perhaps we just head back to Valoo. See if maybe Mavrin or Jack knows a way we can communicate.
Indeed. I think that is our best course. In the meantime, I'm gonna look at them. I'm gonna point at like our picture of the translator. I'm gonna point at him, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna point at us, and then point off into the distance where the ruins of Valoo are, and then I just kind of want to gesture that we're gonna go get one.
Oh, okay. They seem to get what you're saying, having talked over this for quite a while. When you do that, he nods, and the other ones nod as well in unison. They seem to think whatever it is that you're trying to gesture to them is a good idea.
Okay. I nod my head, and I suppose we make our way back to Valoo.
Okay. Many, many hours go by, and by the time that you get to the portal, it is nighttime. And Dudairn, you are awake. By this point, since you're a fighter and you have second wind, you would be full HP. So you would wake up during the travel here, going from the lava to the city. Do you mention anything to your party?
I'm still being carried, so Vorik, you can put me down.
Oh, don't strain yourself, dude, Aaron. I can handle this.
Please,
You just
no,
rest
this is-
up.
Your shoulder, while my tea is not comfortable.
True.
Well, perhaps we can get some type of saddle. But
Make
for
this a
now,
regular
here
thing.
you are.
Please just Just let me walk.
I'll put him down.
Okay.
I recognize where we are. Give or take.
Okay. Darren is awake, and he grows healthier by the minute. You know his fighting spirit is strong, and soon he feels much better. And all of you reach the portal and step through to the other side, yawning as the evening is upon you. And we will end the session there.
I assume we go through our whole, give the Cornus a message, and then the portal grows and pass through, or
Yep, right late at the night.
is the portal just open on its
Yep.
own?
Yeah, they just
Okay.
forgot it. Whoops. No, you
Oopsie.
definitely have to wait for a little bit in the evening and then make it in.
Okay, great.
You're all back.
Yay!
Darren
Back
doesn't
to
die.
Sim City.
Back and not dead.
Mhm.
What day is it?
Who am I? Where are we?
I mean,
Okay, perfect. I'm going to save your game and not save it over anybody else's.
you can save it over Monday. It's fine.
Mondays? Okay,
They won't need it anymore.
that's true. Poor Monday group. Poor Monday group.
And I make jokes, but I feel bad for them.
Yeah, I feel bad for him too.
Just think of
But
all
I
the
don't
fun
know.
characters they get to play. All the
It's-
different characters.
it's
I
like
mean,
I
it's
feel
made-
like they're smarter than that though. So it's like when they do those things, I can't really, it's just like, well, you knew that was gonna happen.
It's made worse by the fact that I can just go walking into the plane of fire with no water and be fine.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's because you have like three pretty smart people who are like looking out for your best interests.
Whoa. Did you just call Vorok smart?
I said
2
pretty
and a
smart.
half.
He's the pretty part. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you very much to you players. I think you guys did pretty good. Good job saving Darren and not starting like a war with the Azure or anything.
Right.
To all
Happy
the audience,
about that.
Mhm.
great to have you guys. And to all the patrons, you guys are the reason I pay my bills. So thank you very much. We're going to talk some random stuff. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Adios.
Bye bye.
Now,
There
I
we
will
go.
promise that I won't immediately charge into a random elemental plane out of anger again, but I do not promise that I won't have more very bad ideas.
I feel like this is going to be one in a long line of saving Darren from random shit.
Right?